time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone. Bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
And it's time for Cigar Talk. How you guys doing? Welcome back. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We have a special guest host on the show this week as I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, recording at Mr. G's Cigars and Pipe Tobacco in Woodstock, Georgia.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining me, bro. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for inviting me down here.
No problem, man.
This has been a great experience, and I came down for a McAuliffe event, and Al McAuliffe was here. Andy Yaffe was here. We had a great McAuliffe event, and it really worked out to where it was like the kickoff of the collector's edition box.
Absolutely. It was a kickoff for us. We theoretically, the shop became a McAuliffe dealership right before the event, and I couldn't think of a better way to kick it all off.
And let me ask you this. So Al McAuliffe was here last night for a dinner. He was here for the event today.
Yes.
How did you get Al McAuliffe to come out to Atlanta from Texas?
That's simple. I know Rob Jones. And I don't think, I mean that in all sincerity. I'm honored to have you here, man.
Well, I appreciate that. And so it's an honor for me to be here. It's been a great event. It's been, you know what I love most about the whole event?
Tell me about it.
I love meeting all the guys of your shop.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's all about for me. I love the people.
And that's what cigar smoking is all about anyway. You can there are people that came in that I don't even know. And by the time they left, we were good friends. And, good friends, good cigars, good conversation, good whiskey. What else more can you ask for, man?
Whiskey, cigars, and good people. That's living.
The strippers didn't show up. But
I wasn't going to complain. Right. I'm not a complainer.
But Shufflin' Bob said next time he'll bring his Chippendales outfit. And
I thought Shufflin' Bob, I told him he should wear something a little more lower cut.
But Fish is here, so he wouldn't mind.
And he looks like a bigger, he looks more like a double D.
Double D plus.
Right. So Shufflin' Bob, he was a little lacking in that area.
Yeah, Shufflin' Bob is a good sport. I mean, I love him to death. He's a dear friend of mine.
Great guy.
Part of my old cigar crew. We got Shufflin' Bob, Paulie Two Sticks, Fish, Deputy Dog, White Velvet.
Now, I got to ask, White Velvet.
White Velvet.
Like the other names I get. White Velvet, I don't get that.
You'd have to know this gentleman. His real name is Roger Ross. And Roger is, he's a big fella. He's lost about 120 pounds. But he's completely bald. And his beard is just snow white. He's got a long beard.
Now, just to be fair, I don't know if you know this, but I have a thing for bald men. I love bald men.
Well, he next time he comes in, you come on down. I'll hook you two up. You can rub it down with oil.
Well, for me, if I am hanging out with a bald dude, I feel like that person makes me look better.
Up against Roger?
Boom.
No problem.
Right.
That's the only reason I hang out with him.
I would love to hang out with like 3 bald dudes all the time.
Roger and Fish and Deputy Dog and even Shufflin' Bob, they just make me feel better about myself.
Right. Hang out with low-class people.
Absolutely.
It makes you feel better.
Absolutely.
That's why I hang out with Bryant and Larry. They make me look good.
Hey, Bryant, he said it. I didn't. I got all the respect for you in the world, man.
I don't.
Okay.
No, I love Bryant. You guys know that. But, hey, so a little bit about Gunny is the buyer. He picks what cigars are in the lounge. He makes the deals, and he brings his consumers what they want.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it's all about. You don't get to pick what you think would be best. You get to pick what you know your guys like.
It's somewhat of a, how should I say it? There's a little bit of hoodoo, kind of. You got to kind of try to figure out. You're a lot of guesswork, but
I'm guessing with the amount of guys we had here today, for them all to get what they want, you are not lacking in the hand job department.
Well, not only that, and I don't mind doing a reach around every now and then.
Boom.
It's okay.
It's a expected.
Except for Fish, he's a different story.
Sure,
but,
sure.
And Shuffling Bob has a hard time bending over, but anyway.
It makes it worth it.
It does.
So,
it does.
Anyway, you guys have done a fantastic job here at Mr. G's.
I
walked through the humidor. I was very impressed. I mean, when I looked back there, I thought, oh, that's a pretty small humidor. You guys have maximized the space and brought in a lot of damn good cigars.
Well, I tell you, Rob, part of what it takes is it comes down to value added. What value can you add to the humidor for the customer experience? And we've packed that thing.
And it is packed.
And it is packed, but at the same time, you have to kind of, like I said, some of it's guesswork, some of it's research and stuff like that. But ultimately, if you build it or if you stock it, they will come. And people buy with their eyes. I'm a big proponent of, I've been in some humidors where they rip the backs of the boxes off, and they stack them up like that. When the customer goes in, it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but the more back stock you have, the better they like it.
Oh,
you could
absolutely.
have a full shelf. You could have a full shelf, but then they kind of think, well, are they going to have the cigars in the future? Or are they going to? And I'm sure Jay over at the Leaf, he could probably attest to that.
They stay stocked. They stay stocked up.
You have to do that. Now, sometimes it gets a little bit empty, and especially in today's world, trying to get stuff in can be somewhat challenging. But I've always, Now,
let me ask you this though: how long have you been the buyer for these 3 cigar shops that you buy for?
I've been the buyer with Nick and his shops for about 2 years now, almost 3 years.
And how's that experience? I mean, because that's tough. There's a million cigars out there. How do you pick what's going in the shop?
Well, the way I do it and how I do it, well, obviously I've got experience as a cigar smoker myself.
Because you've been smoking cigars for like 40 years.
Yeah, I started smoking when I was 18.
And you're 57.
I'm 57 now.
So I'm 39 years.
40 years, not counting, sneaking under
dog
my
years, that's a long time.
Sneaking under my grandpa's house and smoking his rolled cigarettes and, Prince Albert tobacco.
Wow.
But,
I remember those. I remember seeing those Prince Albert cans.
But I tell you what, a lot of it is take a step back, and just as a consumer, having been a consumer for a long time, saying, if it were me, what would I like when I walk in this humidor?
So let me ask you that then. So this was a McAuliffe event. It went
absolutely
very well.
Oh.
Al was here. Andy was here. I was here.
Yeah.
We had the
By
event.
the way, thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored to have you here.
I'm honored to be invited. But we had this event. How important is it to you that the cigars that you bring in are quality? And when I say quality, I don't mean the best blend. I mean the best construction of the cigars. Like, how important is construction to you?
To me, let's take it first step one as a cigar smoker. And I made a comment to you about, I don't care if the Heavenly Father came down and blessed this tobacco, angel farts or whatever. If that tobacco or if that cigar doesn't draw well,
what good is it?
I will throw that thing out. And when it comes to what's in that humidor, it is paramount. I can't stress more that when they buy that cigar, Nick Perdomo says it's quality because it has my name on it. Well, that's fine. But when it comes out of this humidor, out of these stores,
it has your name on it.
It has our name on it then, and by God, it butter smoked good. Now, it's a man-made product. Things happen.
And we understand there's a low percentage that's okay. But you can't have a cigar company that's giving you 10%, 20% of crap.
I won't do it. I won't have it. I won't put it in the humidor. I don't care. You can give me the cigar. If it doesn't smoke right, I will not put it in the humidor. 100% profit. Here they are. Put them, sell them. No, it's not worth it.
And we had lunch with Al earlier today from McAuliffe. And what did he say? Try my cigar. If you don't like it, I'll buy it back from you.
Absolutely. And I use that mantra. I have the tobacconists in all the shops. They use that mantra. I tell them, if someone has a bad experience, first and foremost, you do what it takes
to make it a good experience.
To make it right.
Because that's what the cigar industry is all about, the experience. Yeah, if you're not having a good experience, then there's something wrong.
Well, I've made this comment before when on the Memorial Day time when you guys blessed me and had me on. You can't sling a cat in Atlanta, Georgia without hitting a cigar shop.
Are you telling me that we've had you on the show before?
Yeah, you remember the Memorial Day?
No. I'm just messing with you. I remember you going.
Yeah, it wasn't very memorable, and I really didn't enjoy talking to you. But I got through it. Nobody does. No, but there's a lot of everybody. You can get cigars online. You can go anywhere and buy a cigar. It's the experience of coming in, being greeted.
You can go online and get cigars cheaper.
Absolutely.
And here's what I'll tell you about that. And I mean, I'm not going to be like telling you bullshit. I buy cigars online from time to time because they have cigars that are available that I don't have at my local shop. And I know there's good cigars I want to try, I want to smoke that Jay doesn't carry.
Well, next time you give me a call, I'll get it.
I will give you a call.
I'll get it. I tell people that. I said, look, yes, you can buy it online. You can go through JRs. You can go through whoever. If I buy a cigar online, I usually get it from two guys up in New Hampshire.
From the Cigar Authority.
Cigar Authority.
Cigar Authority. We give our hats off to David Garofalo, which I consider the OG of Cigar Podcast. If you're not listening to the Cigar Authority and you're listening to Cigar Talk, well, I thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, I'm biased to Cigar Talk.
Well, we appreciate that.
I told Mr. Jonathan, I said, look, man, you guys need to tighten it up. I know it's difficult, but you need to be more like Cigar Talk.
And we appreciate that.
And
Thank you.
And he promptly told me where to go and what to do when I got there.
Wow.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Hey, you know what?
Not the first time, won't be the last.
I don't know all the guys over at the Cigar Authority. I just know David Garofalo.
Well, then you know the man.
Right. And so I am in awe when I meet that guy. When I'm like, dude, you are the OG. I am in honor to be in your presence.
Just from a business acumen. Put the cigar aside. From business.
You started doing something before anybody else even thought about it because he's an innovator.
Well, his buyer, Ed Santa Maria, is a mentor to me. Okay. And he and I our sons are autistic. And so we have a commonality there and we talk at times about that. But I'll tell you how good those guys are. I had a problem ordering a certain, I'll say it was Padrones.
Okay.
I just couldn't get them in. They didn't have them at the time, and we've got a good. We sell quite a few Padrones through our stores, and Ed shipped me the cigars. He took them out of their inventory and sent them to me, and that was just.
That's monumental.
That helped me out, man, because then. I was able to service my customer base.
But he took those out of his inventory to make sure you could handle your customers.
But, it's those kind of relationships. Now, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I reached out to him early in my career and said, how can I, what do I need to do? help me. And I said, I feel like I'm in a hole. I'm not sure how to get this, some of this stuff started.
Are you leaving?
Hey, this is Paulie Two Sticks right here.
Paulie Two Sticks, it was a great time meeting you, sir. Honored. I'm honored.
I want you to know that man, he wears a World Series New York Yankees ring. I told him go Red Sox, but no, I'm kidding. He knows some people in the mob, so I don't want to mess him up.
Nice meeting you, Paulie.
See you, buddy. But
Paulie is wearing a New York Yankees World Series ring,
and it's his. It's not.
It's not. He didn't buy it at a pawn shop. He earned it. So hats off to that dude.
Absolutely, he was the strength coach for the New York World Series, New York Yankees, the Atlanta Braves, New York Jets, New York Mets.
He was the strength coach.
Yes.
Wow.
He was, for all of them, he was Mr. New Jersey in the 70s. Paulie is 84 years old right now, and he could probably whip us under the table.
I'd like to arm wrestle that guy.
I wouldn't do it if I were you.
I said I'd like to. I didn't say I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But, back in the day, I was an arm wrestler. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, man.
My dad, when I was like 17, I would go hang out with my dad on the weekends, and we would go to the old VFW, and he would tell people that I was an arm wrestler. And next thing you know, I've got like 5, 6 dudes that are like in their mid-20s all the way up to their 50s that were lining up to arm wrestle me. And I beat them all.
Man, you're strong.
Well,
strong.
I don't know, because how do you compare the VFW guys with the rest of the world? I don't know.
Well, they limp over and,
Right.
got the walker and just young whippersnapper.
Right. Now, did you ever go to the old time VFWs?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we used to have a condo over on Wild Dunes in Isle of Palms in South Carolina.
Okay.
And there's a VFW actually on the beach in Isle of Palms. It's the only VFW on the beach. I've been there several times, and I've been to several VFWs. There was one where we used to, they had a golf course. And, it's just a little, almost like a public type golf course. But they had the coldest beer I've ever, you get the ice is formed on the outside of the glass.
The mugs were cold. Mugs,
and then that beer inside there, and play a round of golf and go in there and grab a mug of beer and just.
So the VFW that I went to with my dad back in the 70s and 80s was a 2-story craftsmanship house in a little town called Breckenridge.
Okay.
And when you went in, it was like there was what used to be like the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
And it had like, the old pinball machines where it wasn't like a pinball machine as we know it. You shot a ball up into this thing. That,
like the Plinko almost.
Yeah, like the Price is Right.
Yeah.
And so
ding, ding, ding,
we
ding,
would
ding. Gamble
on that. I mean, if there was anything that had an outcome, we were gambling on it.
What man, my wife, her dad, God rest his soul, he passed away, but he was in the 101st Airborne in World War II.
Wow!
His first jump out of out of Fort Benning. When he went through Fort Benning, they rushed him through Fort Benning, the jump school. His first jump was Market Garden. He went through Market Garden, Normandy, and Battle of the Bulge, all 3 of them. And I would go to the local, one of the one of the VFWs here over in South Carolina where they lived. And the dude was like a king when he walked in. They treated him like a king, and as they should. For what he went through, those old timers. But
gotcha.
But he used to, he used to tell me I'd go out and sit on his porch with him and talk to him, and he'd go when they moved here to Atlanta, he'd go, Gunny, let's go up to Dahlonega and show those Rangers how to run that obstacle course. I go, let's do it, LT, because I called him LT because he got a battlefield commission during Battle of the Bulge to lieutenant.
The Battle of the Bulge. Yeah. Wow.
And he told me, I used to call him Papa Lou. I said, Papa Lou, that's quite an accomplishment. And he goes, no, man, there wasn't anybody else alive. So they had to pick somebody.
Right.
But, and of course he's being self-deprecating. He was quite the hero. But he go, let's go up to Dahlonega and let's show those Army Rangers how to run that obstacle course. I'd say, okay, let's do it, LT. And then he goes, well, it's getting kind of late, so let's do it tomorrow.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And every day it was like, let's do it tomorrow.
Let's always do it tomorrow.
Yeah, but no, I tell you what, I'm blessed. We're all blessed that people are willing to do harm so that we can be free.
Absolutely.
And, for my time in the military, I'll it's kind of like the old saying, I don't know if I'd ever do it again, but I don't regret
doing it.
I don't regret doing it. Now, obviously, if I went into the military now, if they call me back up, we got problems.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got no problem training, but, at 6 o'clock, I'm on the turlet.
Yeah.
In the morning. And, and around 2 o'clock. So, you're going to have to work around my schedule. And I don't think that would go too well.
No, they're not looking for old guys.
No.
They're looking for young, mean machines.
They're looking for something that don't know any better.
Boom. So anyway, we had a great McAuliffe event here, and Al McAuliffe was here. Like,
absolutely.
How hard was it to get Al McAuliffe here?
Well, like I said, it was, I credit you with that. I credit Andy. When I talked to him, I was like, look, Andy, I'm willing to, I don't need a vendor. I can get a vendor. I need a partner, and I'm willing to make the commitment, the financial commitment, and the commitment of Nick's shops to you. But the only reason why, let's go back a little bit. The only reason why I was able to do that was because of Cigar Talk. You understand that? I was introduced to McAuliffe Cigars by you and Bryant. And I saw that on, you're talking about the sponsorship and stuff. And I was like,
right.
I need to try those cigars.
Now, let me ask you this. We recommended McAuliffe Cigars because I'm a big supporter of what they do, because not only do they make, to me, world-class cigars, but they also give back to the community.
Absolutely. They're about the brick and mortar.
They are about the brick and mortar. I don't know another cigar company that cares more about their brick and mortar than them.
No.
There's a lot of people that say they are, but then you find their cigars are half price at Cigar International.
And it's something that aggravates me, because it's like, I'm making a financial commitment to you. I'm bringing your product in. Now I'm going to bring it in because they sell.
Right.
And everything. But
then if I find your cigar on Cigar International for half price,
you're competing with me.
Right.
And I got a real problem with these manufacturers. Now, hey, I'm all about the free market. I'm all about capitalism.
You do you.
Make the money.
But I'm gonna go with the company that has given me the same competition level that all the other cigar shops have, not all the online shops that have no overhead.
And now you've got these manufacturers that are selling
their own cigars
themselves.
Right.
And I have a real problem with that. Now, but like anything, it's my job to the value added for that humidor. It's my job to make sure it's there. So I buy the cigars. I have to.
Now, how do you go about picking what cigars you're going to bring into humidor? Because you're the buyer for 3 cigar lounges.
Right. Well, first and foremost, I go by the formula 70-30. 70% Budweiser, 30% IPA. And what I mean by that is you have to have the Altadis, you have to have the Fuentes,
the General Cigars, the Altadas.
Yeah,
you're going to carry those because they have earned their place.
Exactly.
And they have made they've made your customer base that's going to come in.
Exactly. I think it's a mistake
it's not what you want.
Yeah.
It's what you need.
Exactly. And an owner that wants to go the opposite and do 70%, boutique, and I'm using the air quotes, boutique, and the 30% the other,
Right.
You're
going to have a hard time.
You're on a slippery slope. But that's your business model. I got no,
And the thing about it is, if you are a cigar shop that's going 70% boutiques and 30% mainline, the problem with that is you have to have a cigar clientele already in place.
You better. If you're trying to build your clientele on that,
if you're trying to build it,
you're done.
Guys are coming in. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of this brand. And so if you want to establish a cigar lounge, you have to carry General and Altadas. Now, I do know some cigar shops that only sell boutiques, but they already had that clientele.
Okay, yeah, and more power to them.
Right. I mean, we would all love to be at that place.
Absolutely.
But
I mean,
that's not what guys that are coming in once or twice a month know. And you have a certain number of cigar clients that are coming in looking for these brands that they know.
Exactly. You've got your established cigar smokers. The ones that live and die by Romeo, Fuente 858, Macanudo.
I'll tell you what.
And all that. Now,
the 858's a damn good cigar.
Fuente was built on 858.
Boom.
That's like Perdomo was built on their champagnes and hats off to Nick Perdomo. You talking about merchandising? He's the merchandising king. He knows how to present those cigars because people buy with their eyes. That presentation,
and Perdomo is all about the consumer.
He is too. He is definitely.
He runs a tight ship. He knows what he wants to do, and he sticks to that.
He is, and he requires that. I'm lucky, and you were talking about part of how do you pick the cigars? How do you make that value in that humidor? And a lot of that has to do with the reps. I'm a big believer. I could buy every cigar without even seeing a rep. But I'm lucky here in Atlanta. I've got some of the best reps around. I got Chris Harper with Perdomo.
And how important it is to you to have relationships with these reps.
Yeah, because then I can. If
you got a problem, you got somebody to take care of it.
It gives me leverage. I'm able to get that relationship, and you foster that relationship with these reps. And let me say, when times are good, times are good. When times are bad, times are bad. You burn your bridges with these reps and stuff, you might find yourself out on the outside.
Right.
And you got to, they're human just like everybody else. These manufacturers now, they got these guys spread all over the place.
Those reps are working their asses off. They are spread so thin.
They're road warriors, man. They're road warriors.
If you really want to build that relationship with your rep, which is going to benefit any shop to have a great relationship with a rep, you better be ready to tickle the taint.
Exactly. I told Nicholas Perdomo was in here not too long ago. It's when we got to 12-year double-aged. They allowed us to sell those. And there's only 3 in Georgia, 4. And
all of Georgia.
And we're one of them. But we did that, obviously, by volume, the amount of volume. Perdomo is primarily our anchor brand in all 3 of our shops. But I want to tell you, Chris Harper, I call Chris. He answers the phone. If he doesn't, he calls me back. Chris, my condolences, just lost his father last week.
Well, but condolences from Cigar Talk because I know how tough that is.
And you want to know something? I didn't know it. And I call him up. He answered the phone. And he told me, Joel, I'm sorry. I've been a little bit incognito. I just lost my dad. I'm like, hey, man, hang the phone up. We'll talk later. He goes, no. What do you need?
I'm not the guy that's important right now.
And I told him that. And I said, he goes, no. What do you need? He was in this shop today. We were, making the rounds. He was here today making sure that humidor, making sure
I heard you on the phone with him.
Yeah, you heard me talking to him.
And you said, if you see what we need, go ahead and order it.
He is one of the only reps, there's a handful of them, that I will let go in the humidor, place the order, sight unseen. I don't need you, just send me the invoice.
He's going to take care of you and not screw you.
And Nick Perdomo requires that of his reps. I told Nicholas when he was in here, I said, let me tell you something. If you ever promote Chris Harper out of Atlanta or something like that, I will come to your house every night and piss on your front door. And he looked at me. He didn't know. Now, Chris is laughing. Chris Harper's laughing. I'm being facetious, but mainly my point was don't mess with my rep.
And you're very nice, because my first thing right out the gate is I will shit on your doorstep.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want that to get back to Nick.
Yeah. Because Nick, dude, I don't know if you feel this way, but when I see Nick walk down the hallway, I'm like Al Capone.
Oh yeah, he dresses to a T.
Like I don't want to mess with that dude.
And but he's as nice as can be. But I want to tell you something.
He's business though.
Like Al, Nick, as far as he's concerned, why are you smoking another cigar? I have the best cigars in the world. Why would you even be smoking anything else?
Right.
Now, obviously I can't, this humidor can't survive just on Perdomo.
You can't sell just one brand.
Exactly. But what that says is, and he's right in that, Al McAuliffe feels the same way. I've gone to the great lengths to provide the best product out there. Why would you want to smoke anything else?
And that's what they're doing.
And
they're making the best products out there.
And my hat's off to them. My stores, I say my stores, the owner stores, they're Perdomo powerhouses. But it's not because of Nick Perdomo. It's because of Nick, what he requires of Chris Harper.
Chris Harper a business model that makes sure that every shop gets taken care of.
Exactly.
And Al is just the same.
And I've learned that.
If you got a problem with Al McAuliffe cigars, he wants to know.
I got Al McAuliffe's phone. He's in my speed dial. I've never called him.
You know what? I got his number. I never call him. I have emailed him.
I'm not going to call him. But at the same time, I know if I called the number and Lauren picked up, if I said I need to talk to Al, boom, I got a problem. I can almost bet you if he's there, they would probably put me through.
Absolutely.
But that's what I need. I don't,
Now, how many other cigar companies are like that? You're a buyer. How many?
I could count on one hand, and right now maybe two, and that would be Perdomo and McAuliffe.
What about Padron?
Now, I was having an issue with my ordering. For whatever reason, they just weren't coming. Now, this wasn't the thing with...
I had a lot of problems just like that with women I used to date.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I still do.
Yeah.
And, don't tell my wife.
Right.
But anyway, and I called I called Padron like 30 times that day.
No shit.
I talked to everybody from the guy on the dock to HR. I wasn't going to give up. I think they sent my order. They probably pulled from other orders and sent me my order just to shut me up from calling them. I'm being facetious, but at the same time, when I talked to him, when I talked to Caesar over at Padron, they're the same way. They're going to make it right. Now, Padron doesn't have reps. They're not about that. You can't get discounts. They're very adamant about that. Their cigar speaks for itself.
And I agree with that. If you make a product that is within your quality of control, we're not giving discounts because we're making a quality product.
And you can't have a viable humidor if you don't have Padron.
Boom.
That's just that's the long and the short of it. All the other reps, they cringe when they know when the month I'm buying Padrones for the three stores or the two. I don't have them in the third yet, but the two, they're like, oh, well, no use in trying to. There's not going to be an order this week. Well, because it's a sizable financial investment.
Sure.
But, I pay for wholesale for a box of Padron, certain boxes, what I sell the others at retail.
Right.
And so it's expensive, but you have to do it. I got to make sure these people that come in that smoke Padrones, I want to give them a good, proper selection, whether it's the 1000 series on up into the family reserve. or the
Hermoso.
The Hermoso 19.
Thank you very much.
1964 anniversary, whether it's the natural or the Maduro, that cigar ticks all boxes for me. I think you and we smoked one today.
Yes, we did.
And it is good. Now, some people say, well, I saved that for a special occasion. I don't know how you feel. When I got a chance to smoke a cigar with a good
special
friend,
occasion.
Or when I'm just stressed, that's a special occasion. It's like a classic car. It's like it's like a GTO or a Chevy.
69 Chevelle Super Sport.
Those cars, drive them.
Don't leave them parked in the garage.
A good cigar, don't leave it in the humidor. Smoke the damn thing. It took a lot. It's an artisan craft to build that cigar like you said, from the crop to the shop.
And I don't save cigars really much for special occasions. If I'm saving cigars, it's just because I want to age them. You know what I mean? I want to add some age to this cigar. Because I can smoke a Padron Hermoso any time of the day, whether I'm with people, whether I'm by myself, just because I feel like smoking it. I don't have to wait until I'm doing something special
they're already aged.
The special cigar is right here, and I'm going to enjoy it.
That's what it's about, enjoying the cigar. Good friends, good cigar, whatever your libation of choice is. That's what it's all about. And really, like I've told people, the humidor is the engine of your shop.
Oh, absolutely.
You can, and I've watched this several times. And I've had owners call me for some advice, and the first thing I tell them, I'm like, quit worrying about that lounge and get that humidor squared away. That's square that away, the rest of it will follow. Get your humidor, get your point of sale. Get some, make sure your tobacconists are knowledgeable.
If your humidor is not where it needs to be, your lounge will be empty.
Absolutely. We all know, and Jay can attest to this over at the Leaf, the lounge does not pay the bills.
Correct.
The lounge is there. You want a good synergy for, good cigars in your humidor, good selection, and people to come in and relax in your lounge. And just like you see here right now, you got, what are they doing? They're kicked back, they're relaxing, they're talking. But people will climb over boxes. They'll zigzag. If you've got a humidor that has a good selection, they'll come in and buy. So the lounge, that will come. But if you don't have that engine, you go buy that Lamborghini. But if you got and I don't want to besmirch anybody's car, but you buy that Lamborghini, meaning that nice car, that lounge is just state of the art and everything else. But that engine, that humidor, if it's a 4-cylinder, whatever, you're not going anywhere.
I agree 100%.
So you got to get that straight first. Now, not everybody. I'm lucky. We have the buying power to supply the humidors correctly. Not everybody has that. You don't have to have every selection known to mankind, but if you have a good
y'all have a very good selection. I walked through the humidor about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, and I was like, holy crap, you got some good stuff in here. Like, you had the Fausto that I love from Tatawahe. You also have one of our other sponsors, Tabanero.
Oh, yeah, I love Tabanero. Through you. I told them, they were like, well, how did you hear about us? I was like, Cigar Talk. They were going,
well, how's your experience been with Tabanero?
Tabanero, it's not a bad experience. They don't have the representation, but I understand that they're just getting into the wholesale market.
Before really Cigar Talk partnered up with them, they were really only available at Ybor City.
Yeah, they're in Tampa.
And now they are expanding that, so you're not going to find them on in a lot of cigar lounges.
Well, the reason I buy them, and I'm getting ready to, we have the Maseda, we've got several. I had the Neros in here.
All right.
But the price point was a little challenging.
Right.
And so I took them out temporarily, but next month I'm going to bring those back into the lounges. there were some other more pressing issues that I needed to take care of in the humidor. So I was like, they're not getting the attention they need. It's not their fault. Let me pull it and then bring it back where the tobacconist can give those cigars the proper representation.
Now, and I'll tell you this, I don't know if you've had the Mike.
I have not.
Okay, so the Mike is the sun-grown, and I want to say it's either 3.75 inches or it's 4 inches. I can't remember. But it's a 3.75 by 60 torpedo.
That is good.
It is phenomenal. I would take that over the Neros.
Really?
I really would.
Because I know you're a big Nero.
I love the Neros, but I love the sun-grown blend that Yonko does. And that Mike is like a small cigar. It's only almost 4 inches.
Right. And
it's a 60 ring gauge, which I'm not really a big fan of. But because it's a torpedo, when you cut it, you feel like you're smoking maybe a Robusto or Toro.
Okay.
But you're getting all that tobacco of a 60 ring gauge. So it's not, just because it's a small, short cigar, it's still an hour-long smoke.
I'll definitely look into that. But I'm going to reach back out to them next month and get a wider selection.
Now, have you tried their Connecticut?
Yes, I have.
Okay, their Connecticut
they sent me some sample bags, and it was very good. At the time, I was a little bit,
Well, let me ask you this, though. Do you have a lot of guys that smoke Connecticut's in here? Because I haven't seen that.
In this particular shop, no. But at the other ones, yes.
Okay.
And
so you really have to examine what your consumers want for each location.
Yeah, you definitely have to. It's and a mistake that a lot of people make is do not get hung up on the price point. If somebody wants a cigar, they'll pay for that cigar.
I agree 100%.
There's ones out there that, I've got customers, and God bless them. I'll treat them just to, they'll come in and they get the Fuente curly heads.
Right.
But they get them by the handful. That's fine. If that's a cigar you like and that's your comfortable price point, by all means.
There's a cigar for everyone.
Exactly.
And you know what? Here, I've had this experience. I've helped a cigar customer in a cigar shop before, and I immediately start picking out some of the cigars that I smoke on a regular basis. And you know what? They're not interested. And you know why? Because all the cigars I picked out were too cheap. You got guys that value a price point. And you know what? Hats off to those guys. Well, I smoke 8 cigars a day. I can't smoke $30 cigars all day long.
But I'm going to tell you something, man. The price as a shop, you shouldn't, or as you shouldn't, how should I say, when you buy your inventory, whatever you have to add up, we have to deal with a 23% sales tobacco tax.
Do y'all really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that adds a few dollars to each stick.
Now, are you aware what the sales tax of cigars in Texas is?
No, I'm not.
1 cent for each cigar.
God.
That's our sales tax on cigars.
Man,
1 cent per stick.
But, and it comes to it. They're used to it in Georgia. That's not the issue. Don't get wrapped up as a buyer. Don't get wrapped up because this cigar is going to cost $16 retail. Or that's not a problem. If you got the proper tobacconists and you got the proper knowledge base, the people will buy that cigar. They don't mind. They're coming in to buy a cigar. A cigar is what would you call it? Discretionary fund type of. It's a luxury item. So they're coming to get a cigar now. As a tobacconist in the humidor, you got to talk to these people. You got to listen to what they're talking about. You got to observe it. You got to close your mouth and listen to them and see where they're at. And then you can guide them. If that guy, if all he wants to smoke are 858s, which is no problem at all, or if he likes we sell a ton of the J.C. Newman House Handmaids. Excellent cigar. Beautiful price point. That's all they want to smoke, and that's fine. But if a guy comes in and says, I want your best cigar. I want the best one. Obviously, you head to that McAuliffe Reserva or you go to that Padron cabinet and stuff like that. But you feel them out. If that's what they want, get out of the way. Let them buy what they want. But if they're unsure and they're thinking, well, that cigar's only $8. That's only $9. Let's say Noel Rojas, Blue Bottle, or a Statement or something. That's where you say, hey, let me tell you, you will get a lot out of this cigar. You will enjoy this cigar. And the key is you want a returning customer.
Right.
You want the customer to come back, and you don't want to feel like they don't want to feel like they've been ripped off. And what you get is you get a lot of customers that are new to cigars, and you can ruin a customer by putting them in the wrong kind of cigar.
Right.
You don't sell a Padron 45
Gotcha.
Family Reserve to someone who's new. They can't appreciate, the palate isn't where they can appreciate what that cigar, what that tobacco offers them. You need to ease them into it, and you'll keep a customer for life. But if you're all about just throwing a price point at them, you might make a couple of $100 off of that guy, but he won't come back.
Right.
And that's not what you want.
No, you want to be here for the long haul.
Absolutely. And when you're buying cigars, that's one of the things that you have to learn is the manufacturer, the rep, they're there to sell you cigars. That's their living, is to sell cigars. Now, that's fine. But as a buyer, you say, okay, what can you do for me, though? All right, you want me to make this investment? It's got to be a give and take. You got to talk the talk. You got to talk turkey with them. That's why it's important to sit face to face with that rep. Hey, we've got this new line. We've got this new line. Okay, well, I hear you.
Now,
but
what's the worst thing a rep can do?
A worst thing the rep can do is talk too much.
Okay, not listen to your needs.
Not listen to my needs.
And I would guess the other one is overpromise.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they've learned a lot of their lessons since this COVID thing and stuff. They've learned that they know everybody. The inventory is low, and so this overpromising stuff
better not be happening.
That doesn't need to happen. You're going to lose. You're going to lose your customer.
Because have you been promised things that didn't come through?
No, in all honesty, and now I don't know. Maybe it's just me or whatever. I can ferret through the bullshit.
They're probably scared of you, Gunny.
No, they're not.
I mean, they know your history.
But it's I can ferret through the bullshit.
Gotcha.
And when they look at me and they're smiling out of the side of their mouth, I'm like, all right, dude, good job. I appreciate the pitch. Now let's talk turkey.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And there's sometimes when a rep comes in and I'm like, yeah, tell me what you got, man. I'm going to stop. You talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
I want to know what you got, but then at the end, I want you to listen to my needs.
Exactly. And good reps like Chris Harper.
You're kind of like a woman.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And now I understand being
and no offense to the women.
No, absolutely not.
He's very attractive, by the way.
No, you talk about bullshit. Let me pick up my phone. Hey, shenanigans. Is bullshit there?
You're right.
Because I'm calling bullshit on that one. But just listen to what I need. But
and do you find that's the majority, that reps are here to listen to your needs?
The ones here in Atlanta, and even the ones that don't, you got Andy. He's up in, Nashville?
Nashville.
He's not here all the time, but I trust what he says. He's here when he can be. He's here to help, like the Harpers and
like this
Louis
event. This event was spectacular for the shop, right?
Absolutely. It takes a certain monetary amount to put something like this on, but again, it's not about what it's about is providing something for the customers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so,
And it allows the customers, the cigar smokers, which is what we all are, an opportunity to meet the brand.
I mean, come on.
You're
meeting Al
to me,
McAuliffe.
that is like most biggest part of the whole event is that you get to meet the brand.
And if you sit down and talk with Al McAuliffe, I remember the first time I met him. Him and the former rep came down, and we said, this is before we had Mr. G's. We sat down at Premium, down in the lounge down there, and we just talked. Now, we were yelling at each other the whole time because both of us are hard of hearing. But it was like talking to my dad. I felt like, I was just comfortable. I was just relaxed, and I was listening to him. And, I was sold. I was sold before then. But I'm just like,
and I've met some cigar owners in my stint in the cigar community. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever get the opportunity to meet Al McAuliffe, you're not going to meet a more down-to-earth guy on the planet. Like, dude's way more, I'll just say it, rich than me.
But
does he seem that way?
No, not at all.
He's not coming in here flashy. He's coming in here and sitting down and talking to every guy that walks in that door.
Well, it's kind of like in the military. You could tell the difference in an officer, and I'm not knocking officers.
And the enlisted guy.
But if you, go ahead and grab that.
It's empty, bro.
Yeah, he polished it off, dude. If you could tell the difference in an officer that started out as enlisted.
Oh, absolutely.
And and the higher rank officers, full bird light colonels, full bird colonels, generals, lieutenant general, major general, whatever. These guys, they'll talk to you. Now you get that butter bar, and again, nothing. I was in the Corps, retired out of the Corps. Nothing against them, but they're trying to make their way. They're trying to make their mark, and they got pressures on them, obviously. But they're there. They don't have any preconceived notions. They'll talk to you. You give them the proper respect, obviously. Al McAuliffe, you give him the proper respect.
Oh, absolutely. It's an honor to be in his presence.
He's earned that respect.
Absolutely.
He has earned that respect. Nick Perdomo, Rocky Patel. God, where would we be without Rocky Patel going to Washington all the time and fighting that freaking FUDA bullshit?
I'll tell you right now, a lot of people know this that listen to the show. I'm not a huge Rocky Patel cigar fan. It's just, everybody likes what they like. I get it. I've just never been. But I have the utmost respect for what Rocky Patel has done for the industry. Because without Rocky Patel, we might not be in the cigar boom we're in now.
No, I might not is not a term.
Well, right.
Would not.
I agree. We would not be where we are now with all the cigar brands, all the cigar lounges without Rocky Patel.
Yeah, we would. I don't know where we would be, actually.
He put in the work.
Yeah.
To make a cigar boom.
So when I've met Rocky several times, I call him a friend, and I have to tell you the story one time where me and Rocky and Nish and Nimish stole a car. But
that's not right now.
but anyway, he's down to earth. He's business. Al, he's business. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Just like the owner of our shops. These guys have pressures on them. They run businesses. They own several businesses in the cigar industry, outside the cigar industry. You got a few minutes of time, like me as a buyer. I have a finite amount of time to make my point with Nick. And then Nick's moved on. He's on to other stuff. Al, eventually he, like he says, he meets with Dan every morning. I'm sure Dan doesn't walk in there and say, "What's up? What's going?" Dan's got his shit together. Boom. He's taking care of it. Then now, if they got time for for a conversation,
absolutely,
they can have it. And but But when you meet these guys, they're down to earth, but they deserve the respect because they're about the cigar life. They're about the industry. That's their number one goal.
You know what else? I give them the respect because they're the ones taking the risk. They're the ones putting their money on the line.
Yeah, yeah.
And they do what they do business-wise, supporting the cigar industry.
Money talks, bullshit walks.
Every day.
And, my dad used to tell me, he goes, let me tell you something, bro. He says, don't let your mouth.
Your dad did not say bro. Your dad did not say bro.
He used to call me brother.
Okay.
Let me tell you, brother. He goes, don't ever let your mouth write a check your ass can't cash.
And that's very good advice.
And these guys, if they say something, you listen.
And when they say something, it's fact.
Again, not to, I'm channeling my dad, but he used to tell me, let me tell you something, brother. If I tell you a gnat can pull a wagon, you better hook him up. In other words, I know what I'm talking about. If I say it, believe it, and
because I'm not bullshitting you.
Yeah, do likewise.
Right.
And so when I meet these guys, someone like Al or Nick or Rocky or, any of them. I mean, I got to meet, Willie Herrera a few times and some of the others. And I'm sorry if I don't mention them, but my point is they've earned the respect. Give them the respect, and you'll have a friend.
Always. Well, me, I try to give everybody respect. You know what I mean? It's not hard to give people respect. They can burn it down, but I'm going to let you start out our relationship with respect.
We're going to start out with the benefit of the doubt, and then after that, let's see where it goes. I had a top sergeant. That's a slang for a master sergeant. And now, he goes, I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to respect me as a person, but you respect the rank because I've earned that rank.
Absolutely.
I've done what it took to become a master sergeant. So you don't have to love me. You don't have to respect me. You can hate my guts, but by God, you're going to respect those stripes.
Which is basically a representation of experience.
Yeah, I've done it.
And all the guys we're talking about, Al McAuliffe, Nick Perdomo, those guys have earned your respect because they have the experience.
What is the old saying? Bad judgment, wisdom comes from I don't want to butcher this, but experience. Our good judgment comes from experience, and experience is the result of bad judgment.
I've had a lot of that in my lifetime.
Oh,
I've had a lot of that in my lifetime.
I do it all the time. I've got that little man, at home, and I'm not the best father in the world, but I tell you what, I try to help him. I try to say, hey, look, I can see down the road. I see where you're going, and they still keep. And I'm like,
they're so
back off.
Narrow-minded.
You just got to back off and let it happen. And you don't want to do it because you want to say,
Let me help you. Let me help you.
You won't have to go through this. I've done it. But, in that life,
without the experience, they don't get it. They got to experience, because we've experienced a lot of failure.
Oh, the shit I used to do as a kid. I'm lucky to even be here.
Same. I'm lucky to be alive, or I'm lucky to not be in prison.
And, me and my father, we had our troubles at times, but kind of back to the respect thing. And, I respected my mom. I honored my mom and my dad, and I'm not going to get religious, but it basically says, it doesn't say honor thy father and thy mother only when everything's going good. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
Whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, right or wrong.
Now let me ask you if you know what the next verse of that says. You know, I'm not a very spiritual, biblical man, but are you aware of what the next verse goes on to say?
I don't know. I'm kind of like you. My wife is very devout Christian, and
So
very.
the next verse goes on to say, parents, don't excite your children to anger.
And that I have done.
I've done it many times.
Many occasions.
Because we always focus on that first part, and we're like, the second part, you still respect me.
Yeah, and basically what he's saying is, you know,
don't be
calm
a
down.
dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
You
Exactly.
can teach your kids without being a dick.
Right. And
well, I mean, most people can. I've been a dick.
You know, I don't have a problem with my wife. You know, she's pretty mean. And, you know,
I met your wife yesterday. She didn't seem mean at all. She was very gracious, very nice. And I was really surprised that she ended up with you.
It's all an act. She's good at it.
Oh, she's like a diabolical criminal.
Yeah, she's, you know, they based The Exorcist off of her.
Wow.
And no, I'm kidding. My wife is, believe me, she's my better half.
You married up, bro.
I married up. I know I did. And again, like I said, when we got married, we were both about 40 or 50 pounds thinner. And, you know, but now we're fat and happy.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
And I don't mind it. I never forget, somebody's like, well, you know, Gunny, why don't you run every day and everything? I'm like, why? I don't have to.
Nobody's chasing me.
Yeah. I told somebody that girl at work, she's like, you know, I ran 5 miles today. And I looked at her and said, why? Is somebody chasing you? And she just looked at me like I had two heads. And
yeah, I'm like,
I figured, you know, I don't need an HR consultation, so I'm going to shut the
I'm
hell
not a
up.
runner. You know what? When I was in high school, I was on the track team, but I was only on the practice squad.
You know, I ran a lot.
You know how bad it sucks to be on a practice squad? Like when they go to meets, they take the real runners, but then back 5 days a week, I'm running for no reason.
And what the fuck are you? Excuse me, I don't know if I can say the F-bomb.
Yeah, you can say the F-bomb.
All right, you know, what the fuck are you? Why am I doing this?
Right.
And you know, and that's in life in general. But just like I'm walking around here tonight, it's like, why the fuck am I not smoking a cigar?
Boom.
But no, you know, I enjoy the industry. I appreciate what it's done for me. It's, you know, like we were talking before, you know, my experience with cigars was born from conflict. You know. Yeah,
you were in Beirut.
Yeah, I was at 17. I was over there.
You were a Marine in
Beirut. And 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. And that time we had that firefight, and that my top sergeant grabbed me and put a cigar in my mouth afterwards and said, "Smoke this," and shut the fuck up.
And did you ask any questions, or did you do exactly what he said?
He grabs me by the back, you know, between the shoulder blades and in the core, you know, and then any, you know, your shirt, your blouse, they call it a blouse. You know, he grabs me between my shoulder blades, you know.
And just yanks you back.
And yanks me back and sets me down on a piece of concrete, you know, rubble from a building, sets me down, bites the head of the cigar, puts it in, you know, lights it, puts it in my mouth, says, puff, you know, don't inhale, lights it up and says, shut the fuck up and sit here. And he sat right there. I'll never forget. I'm sitting down. He's standing beside me with his foot up on it.
And you just got out of a firefight.
Yeah, I mean, I was shattered.
You were shell-shocked.
Yeah, I'd never been through anything like that in my life. I remember going through it, and not to belabor the point, but I remember I couldn't hear anything because my heart was beating so fast. You know, it felt like it was in my head.
So could you hear your heart like just
it was in my. I couldn't open my eyes because you know, I was like struggling to breathe. I was you know, and you know, they say, you know, your training kicks in. I was just following what the sergeant said do. I was pointing that rifle in the direction. You know, I'm 17 freaking years old, man. You know.
Do they let 17-year-olds in the military anymore?
Yeah, they do. Well, I graduated when I was 17, and so your parents still have to sign for you to go in the Marines.
Gotcha.
But you're out of high school, so they just say it's a formality. And I remember my mom kicked the recruiter out of the house the first time he came over to see me. I went in the delayed entry program. She's like, she kicked him out of the house.
She was like, my son's only a kid.
And and they ended up being good friends with him. Sergeant Bird was, it was his name. And they ended up staying in contact with him for many, many years. But, I was shattered. He set me down. He put his foot up on a block right beside me, and we both smoked a cigar right there. Now,
Do you remember what it was?
I don't know what it was. It could have been a Monte Cristo.
Been a banana peel.
I don't even know.
You don't know.
But it calmed me down, reset my focus, and then he slapped me on the back of the head and said, get your ass back over there. Let's
regroup.
Let's regroup. We called in, air support and stuff like that. Took care of the issue. And ever since then, he would give cigars out. I'd go to him and say, hey, Top, can I have a couple more cigars? Yeah. And when I got back up to Lejeune, when I came back to...
and you're a freaking kid.
Yeah, I was 18 by then.
Still a kid.
But you could buy a cigar then.
Okay.
There was a convenience store outside one of the gates of Camp Geiger, and I would go in there, and they had a case, and I would get some cigar. I didn't know what I was buying.
What the hell was it like over there? Was it hotter than balls?
No, actually, Beirut used to be the Riviera of the Middle East, is what they used to call it.
So it used to be a nice place?
Oh, yeah, man. That's where the rich used to go over there. Once the Hezbollah and the PLO and all that stuff, the terrorists took over.
They ruined it.
It's destroyed. Now, we were over there supporting the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force and everything. Now, you had to be real careful with them, and nothing against Israel, obviously an ally, but you'd meet them coming the other way every now and then, and they wanted you out of the way. They had a mission. And they didn't want us getting in the way.
Now, but this is not normal cigar talk stuff, but from what I've heard, the Israeli military are badasses.
The Israeli military, everyone has to serve.
Everybody, boy, girl.
And understand, they are in the fight for their survival. Imagine if Canada was constantly bombing us and could basically just invade at any time.
Right.
They are in a fight for their survival. They're in a fight for literally
every
to
day
be wiped off the face of the earth.
And they have so many enemies.
Everybody's an enemy.
Like nobody likes them.
Nobody. And so they're serious. Now I'm making a lie. I'm trying to come up with a different word. They're fanatics about it. They're there. They're not going to let these people come in. They're tired of being, so we've got this conflict over there. I'll never forget, I tell you a story, and I don't want to bore you with this, but we were in a little area. We were kind of grouped up. There was my platoon and a buddy of mine. His name escapes me, but we were sitting there. It's about the size of this room right here, and there were some buildings beside us, and there was an alley that went in front, and there was a wheelchair sitting there, and he's sitting in the wheelchair and he's kind of rolling himself around and stuff like that. Well, here comes a Merc of a tank, an Israeli tank. You can hear it rumbling. And we're like, we better get the fuck out of the way, man. Let's move to a different location. So we're hauling ass and he's rolling in the wheelchair. He was in that wheelchair and he's rolling the wheelchair. I was like, get up, dumbass. You're not crippled. Let's go. And he jumps up out of the wheelchair and goes. But, we're trying to move. And, but you had to be careful. You had to watch your back. And, of
so
course.
Were there like surprises, like enemy surprises?
It was.
Or did you know where they were? They knew where you were and y'all were just going at it.
Obviously, our mission was more of a peacekeeping mission. Over said and done.
Okay, but peacekeeping missions mean.
Israel had a different opinion on what's going on. They're like, fine, you want to be over here, you do what you got to do, but you get the hell out of the way.
Right.
When we're coming, you either it's the old lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. And so we're a lot more reactionary. We were much more reactionary after I got into force recon. we went back for a little while I served as a.
And was that different though than when you were there the first time?
Yes, it was different.
Because you were in the special forces then.
Yeah. I was an operator by then. Now we were called a Special Reactionary Force. We were part of a Marine Expeditionary Unit. We were offshore most of the time, but if something went down,
y'all showed up.
We would show up. I got to escort Bob Hope.
Oh no, shit!
He was in the chopper with us.
No
we escorted
way!
him because he was going to perform for the troops.
Yeah,
but they didn't know it, so we basically would go in at a certain level, and then boom, the chopper would go in quick.
So did you get to meet Bob Hope?
He's sitting over there.
Wow.
He threw up his lunch.
Nice.
He was in that chopper, and we were, and he threw his lunch up.
Yeah, y'all were not flying into the DFW airport.
We're basically about 15 feet off the deck going in, and when that chopper got to the right coordinate,
just off to one way.
Yeah, and
wow.
It was like, it was a. I don't. They say that the sum of your life, the things that you experience, prepare you for other things in life. And I'm a full believer that, and I don't want to change the subject, but having an autistic child and the turmoil and the pain that causes you because you feel. You want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you have these hopes and dreams,
and I think
that are unrealistic, really.
And I think that experience, the experiences in my life in the military and stuff,
prepared
me for that, and to be able to try to be a good father for Jonathan, and because my wife, he's adopted. We adopted Jonathan as a baby.
Okay,
and we were older parents. So I was, in my mid 40s when that knucklehead came along, and so we were able to give him a really stable home. And as older parents and having the experience that we had, hopefully to impart that to him. But I'm a firm believer that because it's been many times in my life early on after my military service, where I get up in the when the hour is late, and I couldn't sleep like most nights, and no matter how hard I prayed, I could not find the love of God, and my demons would be getting the best of me. I take this back to cigars. I would get up instead of taking my fist and putting it through the wall, trying to, hopefully the pain in my hand would take care of the pain in my head. I was able to, now I go and get a cigar when I get those feelings.
And you get to relax.
And I sit down and I smoke a cigar.
Let it go.
And that's why cigars mean so much to me.
And the community that comes with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Look at your running mates. They're all veterans.
Most of them are. And most of us, love our country. All of us cry when when we hear the national anthem. And, we were at a game one time and, they're playing the national anthem and, I'm tearing up. I do every time I hear it. And to have your son standing beside you, reach down and hold your hand. Or you look over at him and he's got his hand on his heart, got his hat off and got his hand on his heart. That's what it's all about, man.
Now, I will say this, and I mean no offense to anyone, but the national anthem ain't that good.
It's what it stands for.
I get that, but you know what? I have never heard someone's ringtone be the national anthem.
No.
We could come up with a little bit better of a badass song.
Well, you know where our national anthem comes from.
Tell me.
If you listen to Britain's national anthem,
yes,
it's practically the same.
But different words.
Different words.
Yeah, right.
Obviously it came from there. And
see, I'm thinking we should have switched over to Highway to Hell. Because could you imagine at the Olympics we win first place and everybody has to sit back and listen to Highway to Hell while the dude is in first place?
Yeah, I would love
that.
It.
Would be
I would
like,
love it.
You know what? Fuck all of you other countries. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned,
it doesn't matter what song it is. It's just that's our song.
Yeah.
But let's have a badass one.
You know, I'm trying to think right now what Highway to Hell,
or Highway to Heaven, whichever one you were.
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven.
Either one of those songs. But although I think an AC/DC song would like really be like, wow, who are these guys?
Or,
that's fucking America. That's who that is.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people think we're braggadocious.
We are.
We're arrogant.
We
you know
are.
Why we are? Because we're the fucking best.
By far.
You know, at the same time, we get shit on a lot.
I mean,
we give more to any
every
nation.
other country.
And
we could, you know what? We can, people say, well, you could do better at this, or everybody can do better. But let's appreciate what we have done. Let's recognize what we have done.
You know, and not to get into politics too much. I know we don't get it on the show. We don't do that on the show. But at the same time, you know, one of the things I remember Trump was saying, he goes, you're just going to get tired of being successful. You know what I mean? And
winning.
Of winning. And I'm like, damn straight, man, because I don't care what you think. Everybody feels that. Now, whether they got the balls to say it, you know, and America doesn't put up with bullshit. Americans don't put up with bullshit. We give a lot to a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you something. We don't play around. We expect our military to be the best.
Well, I think we have the best military.
Well, yeah, by far. But
not even close.
No.
I mean, and we don't want to get into politics, but
Yeah.
I mean, look at Russia right now.
dude,
Are they embarrassed as shit?
they're having to get that shit from Iran. They got the Ukraine is whipping their
ass with
They're whipping
way
their ass.
smaller military.
Exactly.
But they have the support of the military technology.
You know, let's face it, whether you believe it or not, and I don't need the Secret Service to come give me a visit, but we're supplying those weapons. It's a proxy war. Now, Ukraine has been at war with Russia. It didn't just start happening last year.
It's been going on
several
for
years.
decades.
Yeah, it's been several years. And Zelensky, he's not squeaky clean.
No. But then again, what leader of a country is?
But do you not understand? You were dealing with Vladimir Putin. What a name. Vladimir Putin. The dude was in charge of the KGB.
Right.
Now,
That's
do I
what
need
most
to say
people
any
don't know.
more?
Yeah, he is as dirty as they come.
He is, and he wants the old Soviet Union.
And you know what scares the shit out of me? I don't talk about my political views very often, but I'm like, you realize if this dude doesn't win, he might do some dumb shit on his way out.
You know, I there's one reason why he's hunkered down, because he knows good and well
that he does not have the support of the people,
and he doesn't have the support of a lot of his
military.
They will take him out.
I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that someone was offering $1 million bounty on him.
It's only a matter of time.
And I'm like, you know what? If I had more flyer miles, I might take you up on that offer. But it's expensive to get over there.
Look, he's annexing these different areas. The reason he's doing that.
Oh, he wants to make sure that if NATO interferes, then he can be an asshole to NATO.
Exactly. But at the same time, what I think he's doing is he's trying to get his exit plan. He's saying, okay, we got this. We're good. That's all I ever wanted. So, but see,
they're not letting him have that. No. They're like, hey, you know what? We're going to take it back. But he didn't think they would do that, because then you're actually, if you
hey, buddy, see you, man.
Joe, it was a pleasure, brother.
And he wants, and what people don't realize, and I'm sure you do, and I say people don't realize, but most of them do, is China's watching him. And if he gets his ass whipped, which he's getting right now.
And that's not even against America. It's against Ukraine.
And they're looking at that. And, you know, we got to worry about China and Taiwan. You know, we got a lot of bad actors out there right now. And, you know, I'm fully convinced that one of the puppet masters, not only China, but is Iran.
Okay.
they're involved a lot more than we realize.
They got nothing better to do.
Shit, man, we just drop a freaking.
I'm just telling you, they got nothing better to do. They like to start shit, and then they like to go back over and pretend they got nothing to do with it. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, drop a Moab on those damn mullahs.
They pretend that they're not involved, and then they go back and they hide, and then they'll go back and do it again. But they never come out and say, "We're doing this." You know what I mean? They never take responsibility for the shit they do.
No, and what are we going to do?
We're going to do what we always do: kick ass.
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later, one of the pundits on the radio here in Atlanta, he goes, events change everything. It may be this way today, but something happens and it just changes the whole dynamic. But let's get off
overnight.
Yeah, let's get
overnight.
Off of that. Yeah, let's get off that.
Hey, well, while we're going, I want to mention our fabulous, amazing, honorable sponsors. We've got Tabanero. Like I said earlier, Joel brought Tabanero into the shop. If you haven't smoked the Sungrowns, it was my cigar of the year last year. There's a reason for that. You got to try them. Look in the show notes. There's a link to Tabanero. The Leaf. If you haven't been to the Leaf and you're within 100 miles, go by and check them out. If you're not in the state of Texas, I recommend that you give them a call because they will hook you up with whatever you need. Then let's jump over to Case Elegance. Dude, if you need a humidor and you're looking for quality, Case Elegance is the top of the line. They make humidors because they love the community. They don't make them because they're trying to get rich. And I don't know if you know this, but we cut 2 humidors in half.
I heard that, because I've seen those Case Elegant knockoffs on Amazon and stuff.
And I'll tell you this, Case Elegance is actually like lawyering up to say
they need to.
You stole our design.
You need to.
But you didn't put any cedar in it. So if I'm one of those companies, I'll be like, well, it looks a lot like your humidor, but we don't put any cedar in there, so you can't sue us. That's what I would say.
I don't,
But at the same time, lower your freaking price down to $40 because you're giving them a bunch of shit.
And $40 is probably too much for that.
Oh, yeah.
Thing.
So Case Elegance, I mean, they got price anywhere from like $60 to $300. But what you know is you're getting a quality product. You're getting what you pay for.
Yes, sir.
And the customer service from those guys knocks it out of the park. Like I had a guy that ordered one of them, and the bottom of the humidor split.
Oh,
the wood split. And he was like, yo, Case Elegance, look what happened. Well, you know what they did? They were like, hey, we'll send you a new one. Well, then he figured out the reason it split was because he spilled a bunch of water in it.
Oh, okay.
So he contacts them and says, hey, you know what? This wasn't y'all's fault. I did this. And you know what they said? We're sending you a new one.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We got you, bro. And customer service like nobody's business. And dude, you don't see that from hardly any companies anymore.
No. I don't know if you're familiar with the guy here in, obviously you're not in Atlanta. We got a consumer guy called Clark Howard.
Okay.
And he calls it customer no service.
Ah.
Customer no service.
Well, that's easy to do because it's rampant.
Oh, man. Nothing pisses me off more. I mean, you work hard for your money. You got a lot of more important things to be doing. You got a product that's not right. You're trying to talk to these people. And again, I got nothing against these call centers over in these other countries, but you end up somebody over in Bangladesh or whatever.
They got no skin in the game.
No, and they just don't take care of you.
And their ammo
good to see you, man.
Is to get you off the phone.
Oh yeah. It's numbers
not
game.
Our fault.
It's a numbers game.
Right.
It's a numbers game.
And you know as well as I do, you're never going to get customer satisfaction unless you talk to like 6 people up the food chain.
Well, even in the IT world that I live in, when I have to deal with an issue and I've got to call, whether it's Cisco switches or back in the day, whoever, I they have a triage that they make you go through. They're trying to, hey, see you, buddy.
They
Thanks,
want to
Mike.
weed out the bullshit. And I get that.
And but after a while, I'm like, look, I've been we're a customer. We spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars with you. No offense to you. I appreciate the job you're doing. I need to talk to a backline engineer.
And
I'm done with that.
I need to talk to your boss's boss.
Yeah.
I don't want to get next.
No,
I just need to skip on up to the head of the line.
I got an outage. I need to talk to the man who knows how to take care.
Right.
Don't, no offense.
Right.
I'm not trying to be mean. If you talk, just let me have backline.
I need to talk to the guy that can make it happen.
Yeah, plain and simple. And they'll do it. But unfortunately, in today's
That's
world.
not the norm.
No, man. And I know we're being kind of Debbie Downers right now, but it's the world we live in. But thank God we got people
like Case Elegance,
like McAuliffe,
and Tabanero.
takes care
of you.
That's not what they're about. You can't be in the, we were talking about boutique. The cigar industry itself is boutique.
Absolutely, because there's not a single cigar made that is from a conglomerate.
Exactly.
Even if you're buying General Cigars, somebody somewhere is making those cigars from small supply line of tobacco.
Exactly. So they can't be that way. They got to take care of you because that's their livelihood. They realize that if these brick and mortars don't buy, we're done.
And for me, I'm a big fan of the smaller brands. I like the smaller brands. But when you say, well, what's a smaller brand? Well, I would say anything other than General or Altadas. Right. But at the same time, even in those small brands within General Cigars, you have small companies. General doesn't run the factories. They still have their smaller cigar brands running those. The only thing I don't like about those big cigar brands is they don't have the relationship from top to bottom. You know what I mean? The CEO of General is not talking to the rollers.
No. That's and
that's where you lose it. Like with even with Perdomo, with McAuliffe, with Padron.
You can talk to
the top knows everybody at the bottom.
Exactly. They've been working for them. They're like family.
They have relationships with these people.
Well, that's when Swisher took over Drew Estate. Now they needed it. They needed that. They needed the money, obviously.
Who did?
Drew Estate.
Why?
Well,
I don't know that story. I would love to know that story. Do you know the story?
Well, paraphrased, basically, Jonathan Drew, he's an idea guy. I mean, he was the core.
He is a brainchild marketing genius.
And you had Willie Herrera and stuff. But it's kind of like with Ford and Jaguar or Volkswagen.
So Jaguar needed Ford's money.
They needed the money, but they also needed the
oversight.
They needed the processes. Because good, bad, or indifferent, you still have to run the business correctly.
I don't smoke a lot of Drew Estate. In fact, I probably
see you, Derek.
I said drink. I meant smoke. I smoke. That's nice meeting you, sir.
Thanks, buddy. If you don't mind, just let that door come through.
We're closing down the shop, people. We are closing down Mr. G's in Woodstock, Georgia.
Absolutely.
But no, you don't have the same relationship between the top to the bottom when you get in the conglomerates. That's the problem that I think you miss. But with Drew Estate, I'm not a big fan of most Drew Estate cigars. I don't smoke hardly any of them. I do like the Pappy Van Winkle cigar. Have you had that?
I have not had that. I've heard about it.
So when I saw it, I thought it was what a gimmick.
Yeah.
But then, of course, it was like $17, $18. I was like, well, I got to try it. Turns out it's a damn good cigar. Now, I'm not smoking them all the time because, I don't throw around cash like I'm Elvis. But I do smoke them from time to time, and they're good. But for me, when I look at Jonathan Drew, I compare him a lot with Rocky Patel. because he was also instrumental in reviving the cigar boom.
Oh, I'm 100%. And what they needed basically is they needed the cash infusion, but also they needed the orders of operation and the processes to take the business to a new level.
Gotcha.
To the level.
Gotcha. And
they
they
just
are
didn't have
at a very high pinnacle order. I went to TPE earlier this year, and the biggest cigar.
Did they go this year?
Oh, yeah. To TPE, they were like.
Oh, they go all out.
They were like the Wizard of Oz. I mean, it was a 2-story building set up in a showroom. Like everybody else has got carpet, they got tables and chairs. No. Drew Estate had a freaking 2-story building where you could go up and sit out on a patio and smoke cigars.
Oh, man.
It was amazing.
They do, and they're known for that. And they're known for that.
I have a friend from Boston area that is down in Texas doing the, what do you call that? The Drew Estate shows that they do.
Yeah.
And he's going to one in San Antonio, and he's going to one in Dallas. And he's like, dude, you should come. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not a big fan of Drew Estate.
It's about
like
the experience, man.
And he said, dude, if you want to go to a party, Drew Estate throws a hell of a party. And I was like, you know what? I would probably enjoy the shit out of it, but I'm just not a Drew Estate guy. And so I'm not going for the party.
Yeah.
I'm going for the cigars.
I hear you.
And I'm not saying they don't make great cigars. It's just not for my palate. Because I know there's a ton of people out there that love Drew Estate cigars. League of 9, the T58 or whatever you call it.
T52.
T52. I know guys love those cigars.
Well, you were talking about the big conglomerates, and one of the biggest one is,
Who's the biggest? I thought General was.
General's big, and then also the ones that own, the parent company of General.
Okay, and I don't even know the name of that one, but it actually owns 2 cigar things.
I'm looking through. They split forged up. They got General and forged now, but not General. I'm talking about when you buy the Avos, the Camachos, and everything. The Davidoff. What is it called? God.
So
as a buyer, I should know the name of it.
Is Davidoff not their own?
No.
So someone else owns Davidoff.
Well, the Davidoff is their own. They've always had Davidoff, but the company, also bought Avo, Camacho, and several others. But my point was, this company, God, I can't believe. Must be getting late. I can't believe it's escaping me because I see it on my invoices all the time. They own Baccarat. Okay. Davidoff owns Baccarat. All right. I'm just going to say, for instance, there's a parent name, but let's just say Davidoff. Davidoff owns Baccarat.
Okay.
Now, Baccarat cigars. You take Camacho, Avo, White Label Davidoffs, and all the other brands they own. Yeah.
Is that the name?
No, that's not the name, but it's, I want to say STG, Scandinavian Tobacco Group.
Oh, yeah.
Scandinavian Tobacco Group.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. And they own a lot of shit.
Yeah, they do. They're big boys. When they cough,
and
the industry,
has a nut.
Moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they move. Because they're one of the ones that wanted to pull out of PCA and stuff like that. But they own Baccarat. You take all the white labels, all the Davidoff line, you take all the Avo, all the Camacho. Baccarat sells more cigars than all of those combined.
Really?
They sell more Baccarat.
Are you serious?
Than all the other brands combined.
I don't even think I've ever smoked one of those.
It's sweet tipped. It's an old name, man. They've been around forever.
How about the Bolivar?
You're talking about.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Bolivar.
Yeah, it's got the portrait of the guy from 1715.
We got some back there.
I saw that.
That comes from Forged. We get those
Okay.
from Ford's. That's General.
Oh, okay.
Not yeah.
But that's
General.
an old cigar brand.
Oh yeah, and they're bringing them out. They're trying to reintroduce the El Rey Del Mundos and stuff like that. AJ Fernandez did a blend for the El Rey Del Mundo. Also,
Really?
we got it in the humidor back there. And
Well, I got to get one of those before I go.
and yeah, sure. And the thing is you got that old line like that. People were talking about, well, they're going to sell Baccarat. They're not going to sell Baccarat. You're going to sell a cigar, a brand that outsells all your other brands out
Right,
there.
right.
Really? Yeah, you're going to cut yourself off at the knees. But these big conglomerates,
They bought up all the good ones.
yeah, and
But
I
then,
understand why they're
no
doing it.
longer as good as what they used to be.
That's unfortunate when you get
CAO is a prime example.
CAO. That's obviously a general product. Let's take the Liga Privada. It's not the same
When
as it
Saka
was when
did it.
Saka did it.
Right.
It was made for Steve Saka.
Right.
I mean, Steve Saka said, I'm the president of a company that has no cigars that I like to smoke. Meaning,
Right. And
Through a
that's what
state.
he did. He turned around and made an amazing cigar.
Exactly. Camacho at one time was owned by the Aroas.
And right.
Totally
And that's
different
when they
cigar.
were amazing.
The Diploma. It's an amazing cigar. Now, it's still good.
It's not a bad cigar.
It's not a bad cigar, but you hit those the Aroas with the Aroa brand, or the CLEs. The CLEs are the Asylums and stuff. Good cigars. Aladinos. JRE. You got JRE who's to Aroa.
love the
CLE Christian
Corojo Reserva. That is my favorite Aladino.
That's a Corojo Puro wrapper, binder, and filler.
All the way.
And I got it now. That's got some ass to it.
It does.
And but it is.
And
a
you
good
know I'm an
cigar.
ass man.
I'm a breast man, but
Well, ass,
what can I-
breast,
what can I-
depending on
what
which.
can I-
Depends on if I'm facing the front or the back. But anyway, hey, so I want to say thank you for hosting a great event at Mr. G's in Woodstock, Georgia. This has been a great experience. This is a great lounge. If you're
I appreciate
anywhere
it.
in the Atlanta area, you got to come see Mr. G's.
it's a work in progress. We have been.
I want to come back in a year and see what it looks like.
I think you will not recognize it in a year. People that come in that have been coming, I want to give a nod to, the previous owner. This was a staple. This shop was a staple here, and Tom, when he passed away and his wife Florence took over, and then when Nick took ownership of it, it's been tough bringing it back, but I think it's back now, and the community has done nothing but embrace us, embrace the new ownership, the new humidor, the changes that we made. They're constantly going. We're doing the best we can, but one thing that we try to do is we don't just knee jerk. We make sure what we put in is the right way and done the right way.
It's well thought out.
Yeah, exactly. And so a nod to Tom
And Nick.
and Nick, and may Tom rest in peace. But that's what it's about. It's about, we've got another shop down the road from us, and I'll mention them if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's called Maxwell's, and we've got a good relationship with Harvey down there at Maxwell's. Some of his people come here in the evenings. They go there in the morning. One of the guys that works here part-time, Sean, you met Sean, he goes to Maxwell's in the morning. But that's what it's about. High tide raises all ships.
Oh, absolutely.
And he sends us, he doesn't sell a lot of loose tobacco for pipes. He sends us,
so this is more of your pipe shop.
yeah, this is where we have the console right there, that where all the McAuliffe is. That's where the pipes sit. They're all in the drawers right now. Bruce, you met Bruce here.
Oh,
He is our pipe aficionado. He handles the pipe side of the
Is he a big pipe smoker?
Oh, yeah, very big pipes.
Nice.
He knows how to do the blends, and he helps people when they come in.
Does he make blends?
He does that himself.
Nice.
He does that himself. We got some new tobacco coming in, the Latakia and stuff.
Oh,
and
you know what? I don't smoke a lot of pipe, but when I do, I love Latakia.
That you got to have it.
Oh,
so
if you're a cigar smoker getting into the pipes, you got to have that.
Yeah, you do. You do. Absolutely. And we're going to start doing, we've just started a pipe club up here. And if you don't mind me saying, part of what we're also doing is trying to bring all this into the 2022.
Sure.
Is instituting the back end of the business, meaning,
hookers and blow.
Yeah, that. But also trying to get, the invoicing modernized.
You're bringing everything to the 21st century.
21st century. We're instituting a cloud technology. So basically, all our shops, use the same software to send the orders, to receive the invoices and stuff like that. It's been a struggle. But
so you're as a buyer, you're actually coming in and streamlining everything for the shops.
Absolutely.
So it all works the same for all three shops.
In other words, if Nick wants to see an invoice, obviously, like you said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, meaning Georgia Revenue, Department of Revenue. You have to pay the taxes every month. Streamlining that process to where Nick can get those files and he just sends them to his accountant, and the accountant pays the taxes.
Nice.
But also it's a storage area, so if this revenue comes in, I need to see the invoice for these, or I want, and which they will do. And I'm sure Jay can attest to this because he has to deal with it. We've got a system now to where anything can be brought up at a moment's notice. We have the hard copies, obviously, and it's a matter of, I get in a wreck. I don't have my stuff on my laptop. Nick, as the owner, can go and see what invoice. We use a workflow system.
Anybody can do it once you have it set in place the way it should
anybody
work.
with the access can get in that needs to get in and see that. You met GM today. He's the money guy. If GM needs to see, 2 years from now, let's say we're fast forward a couple of years, if he needs to see 2022 and it's 2024, if he needs to see something, he just goes in, bam, it's there for him, no matter what store.
Very nice.
So that's been a challenge coming from the IT background. I feel like that's important because it's all about manageability. And again, over and above, we're a business. And Nick is in the cigar business to lose money. He's in the cigar business to make money, just like Al, like any of them. It's, they're doing it also as a revenue. It's a revenue generation. So therefore, as a part of that, you've got to know, again, that humidor has to be streamlined. And part of that, unfortunately, it's not the sexy part of it. It's not the part that everybody sees.
It's not the fun part.
It's not the fun part of being able to sit down and smoke a cigar, but it is an important part because if you don't know where the money's going,
How many people have the wrong idea about it's a fun thing to become a cigar shop owner?
Oh man! Well, most cigar shop owners will try to talk you out of ownership,
Right.
and if you're and if they can't talk you out of it, they'll probably call a friend and try to get them to talk you out of it. But if you are bound and determined to become a cigar shop owner,
just know it's going to be a long, hard haul.
It's going to be a long haul. Now,
and it's not. You're not going to make money overnight.
No, you can ask Jay.
You have to be willing to be looking out years.
Oh, absolutely.
Not weeks or months, but
absolutely.
Years.
Whether you have somebody like me buying the product or whether you're doing it yourself, you're not thinking about this week. You're not thinking about that. You're looking into next year. You're looking into the year after that. And like I said, events change things. So if something happens, you've got Caldwell, their warehouse burned down.
Right.
So you got to make an adjustment. Or am I going to be able to get this? Am I going to be able to get? And the first call when I found out was to my rep. I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? And don't bullshit me. Tell me exactly what's going on.
And I don't know if you know this, but I remember when Casa Cuevas, their warehouse was broken into.
Oh yeah,
and stole 500 boxes of their limited release cigars.
It affects.
And I mean,
it affects a lot.
you think about what a pivotal moment that was. That could run some companies out of business.
Yeah. Hopefully, and Caldwell's diversified, and so they can pivot. These big companies are if something happens. But understand, the cigars you're smoking today were grown years ago.
Years ago.
So the cigars that you're going to be smoking 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they're in the ground right now.
I was talking to a president of a cigar company, and I'm not going to name them because I don't know if this was, information they were okay with me giving out.
Sure.
But basically, they are working right now on cigars that will be 4 years from now.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, and
that's not like any other business. How many businesses are you like?
That isn't.
You know what? I'm making tennis shoes for 4 years from now.
That's a business model that is contrary to most businesses.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, and in other words, your money is tied up.
Right.
Just like here, the back stock you see up on top of the shelves.
You have a lot of money tied up in that humidor.
That's and luckily Nick is the type of owner that he's never told me no. But at the same time, as a buyer,
you understand.
I'm a fiduciary of his money.
Fiduciary.
You know what I mean?
I have no idea what fiduciary means.
Well,
that is like college level grammar. And
I've been waiting all week. I've been waiting all week to say that
teach
word.
You that word, fiduciary.
Yeah, I was watching an investment, but what it basically means is I'm a caretaker.
Say that word again.
Fiduciary.
Fiduciary. I'm going to use that word next week at work, and they're going to be like, "Whoa, look at Rob."
But what it basically means is me as a buyer, I'm a caretaker of that money.
Gotcha.
So
fiduciary.
So I don't spend the money unless it's going to bring
a benefit,
a return on his investment.
Return of investment. ROI.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so
now, when you say fiduciary, that's what you are.
Well, yeah.
Do you wear a pink tutu?
No, I don't.
Oh, all right.
I don't. Well, I've got.
You got a green
pink,
one.
I got pink underwear.
That suffices. That suffices.
I actually fish right here. He gave them to me.
Hey, you know what? What happens between friends?
I remember. I remember the time he and we both got a tramp stamp. And so it's
so. I don't know if you know this. Fiduciary reminds me of fuchsia. Okay. I don't know if you know this.
I regret ever using that word. I'm never going to live that down.
I wore a fuchsia-colored tuxedo to my senior prom.
Jay, please call in and help me out.
I'm going to have to show you a picture. Hey, you know what? People bring up fiduciary on Cigar Talk. We're going to make a big deal out of it because, that's...
I deserve it.
Yes,
I deserve it.
Absolutely.
I know my wife is a retired English teacher.
My wife majored in English in college.
Same here. My wife she called it the interstate program of college because she was a partier. So she got kicked out of the party schools. She started with Georgia. She went to Georgia Southern. She finally graduated from what's that college downtown here in Atlanta? Georgia State. And but as an English major, became a teacher, English teacher.
And so you understand what it's like to be married to a English graduate.
Oh yeah, it's different. She told me one time, she goes, "Why are you being so recalcitrant?" And I was like, "I think I just was insulted, but let me consult the oracle."
Well, I think that if you call yourself fiduciary, you're just as insulted.
And I told her, I said, "What does that mean?" She goes, "That means hard-headed." I said, "Why couldn't you just say hard-headed?"
Can you spell fiduciary?
Absolutely not.
All right. I was going to say, because you know what? We're going to name the show Being Fiduciary in Atlanta. That's the name of the show.
My God.
But I'm going to have to Google it or ask my wife.
Yeah, she can tell you what it is. Just let somebody look up fiduciary and tell what it means, please.
Hey, guys. If you like Cigar Talk, you love Cigar Talk, or you hate Cigar Talk, check out our sponsors in the show notes. There's links, there's phone numbers. Those are the guys that support this show, that make it come on every week. And when you support them, you support us. And then also, if you'd like to support Cigar Talk independently, you can become a Patreon member. Gunny is one of our he is our very first king member of the Light 'em Up crew. But you can be several different tiers, pay different amounts, but all of it supports us to keep bringing the show to you week after week.
Absolutely.
And the great thing about our Patreon members is it's really become like family. And so also join our Discord server, hang out with the guys who listen to Cigar Talk. I'm on there shooting the bullshit. Every now and then, Bryant will get on and shoot the bullshit. He is very technologically disabled, but every now and then he figures out how to get on the phone and get to Discord. But we're on there having a good time. We have herfs every so often. You should come on a herf with us. You've never come on a herf with us.
I've never come on the Discord because when you sent me the link, it didn't work. So I was like,
I can send you another link, Gunny.
I'm afraid. I don't want to. You're giving me a hard time about fiduciary. The last thing I want to do is get on that Discord now because I know you guys are rough on that thing.
Let me tell you something. Your name will be fiduciary. And you know what? Nobody,
Fuchsia, douche. What can I say?
Nobody in the Discord will know what that word means. But what I'm going to say though is, come in there, hang out with us. Boom.
That's how you spell it.
You're full of shit. You're so full of shit. He spelled it F-I-S-H. Fish.
Fish, douche, air, Y.
Yeah, fadouche. You remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Wrapped up like a douche. Another
I used
runner.
to think they said douche. It's deuce.
It's revved up like a deuce, but it sounds like
a douche.
A douche.
That's what I used to say.
That's what I sang forever.
I did too.
And now I still sing that.
I do it just to piss my wife off.
I sing it that way because that's what I grew up on. That's what it sounds like.
It does.
It does not sound like revved up like a deuce.
I don't,
Now, it would make
more sense.
Steve
Miller? Is that Steve Miller?
No.
Who was that?
Oh.
Manford
Man's Earth Band.
Yep.
So, hey, we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to come back and have Trent Smith jump in your spot. We're going to do the McAuliffe Minute, and we're going to have the Song of the Week.
You got it.
For you guys at home, I don't have a joke of the week because I've been traveling and drinking and I haven't been sober enough to come up with a good joke.
And it has been an absolute displeasure.
You know what? That's what we're here for.
And I appreciate the
if we can humiliate you in any way that makes you feel better.
You know who I live with. That's a daily basis.
This is nothing for you.
Nah, nothing. You guys aren't even in the same league.
I understand. I live with a Jewish woman, and it is something to behold. You know what? Everybody tells me, your wife is a saint for putting up with all your shit. What they don't know is I'm a saint for putting up with all my wife's rules.
My wife goes, you're crazy. You yell too much. You're too short-tempered. I said, it's because I live with you. You've turned me into a maniac.
If I lived with a nicer person, I wouldn't be this way.
And I said, my girlfriend doesn't treat me that way. Why do you have to treat me that way?
Right. I mean, it's like, if you treated me better, I wouldn't have a girlfriend.
Right. I mean, what can I say?
You know what? I'm completely joking here. I have way more than one girlfriend.
Well, I think Trent?
Trent's one of my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Wait till he sees what's happening later. Hey, Joel, thank you so much for having me on.
Pleasure.
In Atlanta.
Thank you very much.
First trip ever to Atlanta. And you know what? It's been nice.
It has been nice.
And
it's not over yet, man. We got tomorrow.
This time of year, the weather is phenomenal.
We're going to go out with Shuffling Bob.
Whoa.
Tomorrow.
Did I agree to that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh. Well, I had plenty to drink. I can deny it.
Absolutely.
No. I look forward to it, and Nick was such a great host.
Yeah, he's great.
You have been a great host. It was wonderful here at Mr. G's in Woodstock, Georgia.
Absolutely.
And, I look forward to my next trip back.
Next trip back, man, it would be even better.
Awesome, man. I look forward to hanging out with you some more.
And you bring. I was going to say bring Bryant, but yeah, don't worry about it.
I mean, the only way we could get Brian out here is if someone tied a rope around his ankle and then hooked it to the jet before it took off.
Tell him just get an Uber.
But at the same time, if we tied a rope to his ankle and then tied it to the plane, the plane would never be able to take off.
Hey,
that fat motherfucker.
That's on you, man. That's a pot calling the kettle black around here. Because look at who's here. Now you got Bruce and Trent over here, man. They're all svelte and
Let me tell you a secret that most people don't know. So, this part's not a secret. Are you aware that Bryant was a star football athlete?
The first time I heard that was on the last show. I remember you mentioned it on the last show.
He actually got a scholarship to run as a running back. He was a stud. And he tells me he ran a 4.3 something, which I don't know if you know, but that's fast. Like, that's fast. Have you seen Bryant?
I've seen him.
He couldn't run a 28.40 right now. You know what I'm saying? Dude's like grandpa ate a whale.
Brian, don't hold it against me. It's not me, man.
You know what was awesome is when he showed up at the shop with a walker. Oh, dude.
Oh, that after his surgery?
Oh. Yeah. I was like, are you freaking old? Last week, he didn't have the walker. He had a cane. And I was like, I guess that's a step up. So, hey, guys.
All right.
We appreciate all you guys here at the lounge, and we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to have the one and only Trent Smith join us next, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
See ya.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break, and as promised, we have Trent Smith of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I don't know if you know this guy, but he is one of our Discord members. He is a school teacher, and he's a cigar rep. How you like being a cigar rep, bro?
I love it. It's a lot of fun. Let me preface this. It's not your full-time gig. You have a job.
No. Yeah. So I would imagine if it's not your full-time gig, it's a way more fun thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Because you're basically just going out and having a ball.
Yeah, a lot of the time. I mean, there's
you're not traveling to Nashville
of it.
You're not traveling to New Orleans. You're just here.
No, I'm hitting up shops that are local, near, drivable.
Now, how long have you been repping for these guys? And first of all, just so you guys know,
just over a year now.
He's repping for ATL.
Yeah, ATL Cigar Co.
Now, do they call themselves the Atlanta Cigar Company?
No, ATL Cigar Co.
Not Atlanta.
No.
Because when I spell Atlanta in text messages, I just put ATL.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of, yes, yeah, for the most part. That was, so as, the company was being founded.
Now, how old is the company?
Just over a year and a half.
Wow.
Launched with cigars last January.
Okay. And you told me earlier while we were in the humidor, y'all had to change the name of a cigar name because it had been used somebody else years ago, and they decided to reuse that name, and they said, hey, you can't do that.
Yes.
That goes on way more than people think. It really does.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Because when you're looking at cigar names, you're trying to find something that's relatable to the cigar industry, to the cigar culture, and you come up with a name that nobody knows about, and then boom, oh, by the way, I own that name.
It was already used.
Right.
Yes.
And so what did y'all change the name to? It was, what was it before?
So it was the ATL Libertad,
which is owned by Villager.
Yes. Villager has
you
the
say
La Libertad.
Villager, not Villager.
Yes.
Villager.
Yes.
How? What?
Yeah, it's Villiger.
Gunny's over here. Gunny here is telling me that I'm wrong in saying villager. And I say, fuck him, I'm dyslexic.
Well, villager would be like Ager, and that would be, the people
that used to do music, like the village people.
Well, and that Belle sings about
YMCA.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh. Well, I think village people, YMCA.
Same kind of thing.
And as a shout out to Patrick in the Navy.
Yep. He who should not be named, always sings that to Patrick.
Oh, yeah, the whore.
We can't say his name on here.
You know what? We should do that. We should say that we're never going to say Orlando's name on the show, but we will refer to him as the Cuban mute. Orlando's a special dude. And I can't disagree with that. Special as in bus.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
So, dude, how long have you listened to Cigar Talk?
I've been listening since not very far into it. I started listening to it.
Was Bryant on when you started? Because he was there in episode 16.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
And that's because when the whole show went to shit.
Yeah, well, so when I started listening, I started at episode 1 and listened through to catch up. So I think around the time that I started listening was probably around the time that he started. And so once I caught up, he was on there with you, I think.
Okay. Well, I did the show either by myself or with some different friends for the first 15 episodes. Yeah. And it was a complete disaster. I don't know how we made it. I mean, dude, this is episode 208.
Damn.
That's a accomplishment for me. Like, I don't do a lot of things like religiously because I'm not a very religious
over 200
guy.
Times.
Yeah. I mean,
there are certain things.
There's like I could say if you want to measure 200, I use the F-bomb more than 200 times. That's the easy one.
Per episode?
No,
per week?
No. Well, usually for me,
on a weekly basis.
Like, I think the F-bomb is my favorite word in the English language.
Okay.
Because it has so much utility. You can use it literally
so many different ways.
Like, I fucking love that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a description. Yeah. It's an adjective. It's an adverb. You can be a noun. It fills the void. And, some people say, well, the F-bomb is for people who are, uneducated. And I'm like, let me educate you in the fallacy of that.
The intricacies
of
fuck.
When it comes to the F-bomb, I am like the fiducia. Did I say that word correctly?
The fuchsia douche.
Oh, the fuchsia douche. Fuchsia douche. That's right. Brian's going to say I'm just a douche. But no, I'm the fuchsia douche of the
Or
F-bomb.
Fiduciary if you're in,
Now, could you say I'm the
law
fiduciariist?
Stuff. Yeah.
I'm a fiduciariist. Or no. I'm a fiduciarian. That's the
there
title.
You go.
I'm a fiduciarian of the F word. I love the F word. You know what? We'll get on. Anyway, so you have enjoyed being a rep for what, a year now? Have you been there a year?
Yeah, just over a year.
And you went to PCA, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. So great. Got to see and meeting other people. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it really
I was
is.
I was the one. I was kind of like fanboying.
You were like, I'm not worthy.
I was like, oh my gosh, all these people, like getting to meet people and and seeing people again that I had seen. And so one of the people that I saw again who I had met before, I was in absolute awe because he remembered me. And so
it's a he.
Yeah. So Rick Rodriguez, who had been with CAO and now has West Tobacco
he just started his own line,
tobacco
right?
company. Yes.
And have you had his
And-
blends yet?
Yeah, I've had one of them, and it
How
was
was
really
it?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not had any of his.
So first day there, before the show started, like the day before, kind of everybody getting set up and stuff, we had gone into the show floor and we're walking out, and I see Rick, and I was like, "Oh, hey," and he was like, "Oh, I remember you from Paradise Island in Atlanta." I was like, "Holy
Wow.
shit!"
Yeah, yeah.
I never expected him to remember me. I expected to be telling him like, "Oh, I met you once," but he was like,
He
"Oh,
was
I
like,
remember you,"
"Dude,
and I was like,
I would never forget
Holy
that blowjob. Sorry. That's not true. So, how many days were you in? Have you been to Vegas before?
"No, this was my first time in Vegas."
So my first time was going to the TPE. So your
Okay.
first time was going to PCA.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so you don't really get the whole Vegas experience because you are
No.
actually putting in a shit ton of work. And then when you're not working at night, you're doing cigar related partying, which
Yes.
is not the same as like if I went to Vegas on my own.
yeah. We
Where'd you stay?
so for the most of the time, so we stayed at the Holiday Inn Resort.
oh, okay.
Like
how was that?
it was nice. I mean, it was like a 2-bedroom.
Was there a bar in the
Thing.
lobby?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So we,
So there were no hookers hanging around.
no,
Gotcha,
no. We stayed there. It was about half a mile from the, Sands Venetian where the show was. So
is that where it was? Was that the Venetian?
Yeah. In
Oh,
the
wow.
like
See, I thought
Sands
it was at the
Venetian Expo
convention
Center.
center.
No, that's where TPE is.
Right.
But no, the PCA is at the
I
Venetian.
had friends that stayed at the Venetian.
yeah.
That was way too expensive for me. Like I was like, yeah,
That was a hell of a lot of money.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't stay there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm poor white dude. So you know what? I don't even know the name of the place we stayed. It was at one of the casinos right next door to Harris.
Okay.
And for some reason, my brain is blank. It might be the bourbon. I don't know. But all I can tell you is it was a decently priced hotel.
yeah.
And Tim,
Yeah.
he went with me. So we shared a room because I'm poor. And I opened up the window because I'm like thinking I'm going to be able to see the badass night strip.
Yeah, like the strip. Yeah.
I pull back the curtain and I see an air conditioner unit on a roof. And about 20 feet further, I see another wall with windows to another hotel. That was our view.
Did you get any good view looking at the windows on the other wall?
Not a bit.
Ah.
And you know where the big Ferris wheel thing is?
Yeah.
That's where we stayed.
Okay.
So what's that called? The promenade? Is that right?
Maybe.
Anyway, that's where we stayed.
Okay.
And I can tell you this. I will never stay there again. Never. And here's the reason why. We go down, you go into the casino,
Yeah.
and there's people smoking cigarettes, but they won't let us smoke cigars.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And I was like, I asked one of the guys there at the bar, and I was like, so you're letting people smoke cigarettes, but we can't smoke cigars? And he was like, yep. And I was like, why is that? And he says to me, excuse me, cigars smell.
Not enough chemicals in them.
No, he says cigars smell bad. And I was like, are you bullshitting me, dude?
Like you let people smoke cigarettes. Yeah.
I mean,
That blows my mind.
I was like, you realize there's over 3,000 chemicals they put into cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's what makes them burn even. That's what makes them burn at a certain rate. That's what makes the paper burn. That's why it doesn't run. I mean, I used to be a cigarette smoker. I get
That's
it.
what keeps people hooked on them.
Boom. Right. There's
You know,
there's no chemicals
30 of them
in
a
our
day.
cigars.
Every day.
Dude, I used to smoke 60 cigarettes a day. I'm an overachiever at everything I do. I don't fuck around. That's why I smoke 8 cigars a day. I'm an overachiever. Now, I told Brian on the show last week, I think, maybe, or I told him in person, I don't remember. I smoked 14 cigars in one day
I was
about
on the
2
show.
weeks ago. And I was like, dude, at the end of that day, I was done.
Yeah.
Like if you handed me the Holy Grail cigar, I'd been like, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. I've taken my beating. I'm done. So anyway, back to you, Trent. How's it been learning how to be a rep? I mean, you have a lot of cigar experience, so I mean, you have background, but I mean, what all did you have to learn in order to be a rep?
Yeah, I mean, definitely kind of the sales side of things, because I've not ever done anything in sales before. You know, like you said, like I've been smoking cigars since 5 days after my 18th birthday.
Oh, no shit. No shit.
Yeah. First cigar was the night I graduated high school. And
that was your first cigar.
Yep. And and for several years there, I was smoking about once a month, something like that, smoking a cigar or my pipe or whatever, but
now how often do you smoke a pipe now?
Now, not as often as I'd like to. Probably, I probably don't smoke a pipe more than
twice a month.
No, probably not even that. I mean,
really?
maybe 10 times a year.
Wow.
I mean,
and is that just time constraint?
Yeah. When I do it, it's normally on a Saturday morning. I've got time. I'm gonna sit out there. I'll sit out on the porch.
Right now you have time.
Yeah.
But in the very near future, all your time is over.
Yes.
Because you're expecting a child.
Yes.
When is the child due?
November 14th.
Wow, that's soon, dude.
Yeah, so, I mean,
boy, girl.
So basically any time now.
Do we know?
We are not finding out.
Let me ruin it for you. It's going to be a boy.
Okay.
Just so you know. And you know what? Not to put you on any pressure, but I really think that you should name him boy. If he's a boy, you should name him Rob motherfucking Jones.
Rob motherfucking Jones Smith.
There you go. There you go. I don't know if you know
I can
this,
see that.
but I'm related to a lot of Smiths.
It doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of us around.
In my hometown, where my dad lived, there was only 200 people in the town, but only 200 people, and the only 5 last names that lived in that town was Sullivan, Smith, Jones. I can't remember the other
Johnson.
two. No, it was Brown.
Okay,
was one of them. The other one was Bella. Huh. Those 5 names. If you didn't have that last name, you need to get the fuck out of town. I'm not bullshitting you. It was a very close-knit community. And so, yeah. And I mean, if you lived in that town and you had a last name of one of those, all of us were related.
Yeah. Because
all of us intermingled. Some of us didn't go outside of our last name, so we were very mingled.
Yeah.
It's Texas. Anyway, So you're going to be a dad.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, dude?
I'm excited, and nervous at the same time.
Now, is this going to be a one and done? Or are y'all going to have more?
No, we'll have more.
Like, how many would you like to have?
Probably 3 or 4.
Wow. 3 or 4 is a lot, dude. Let me tell you from experience, 2 is the max. 2 is the max. This is not 1945. This is 2022. In fact, I tell people don't have kids. Let's just end it with no more kids, and that's how the human race expired. That's what I say. Anyway, they get very expensive.
Except then, the meth heads are going to be the only ones that are still reproducing.
Like cockroaches.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. That town I grew up in, that's how it was. And
we should have those people neutered. Just kidding.
Yeah. Half of them, had like 6 of them before we graduated high school. So
wow. Now, did you grow up here in Atlanta?
No.
You grew up in Florida?
No. Northwest Georgia. So, from Woodstock.
That was Gunny.
Probably an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half north of here. But small rural town.
All right, cool. So, anyway, how how's the repping going? I mean, is it like, I don't know how it works because that's not your full-time gig, but I mean, are you doing it weekly? Are you doing it monthly? How does that work?
I mean, it's kind of just as I can. I mean, it depends on the week. Some weeks I'll be, spending several hours calling around, to my existing accounts and stuff. And then, I'll visit other shops that I'm trying to bring in and stuff like that.
So what, I mean, you hadn't been a rep before.
No.
Why would they hire a guy with no rep experience? I mean, what was the litmus test to get in?
So basically I tell people I kind of stumbled into the job. So like I said, I've been smoking cigars for a while.
Since high school.
Yeah. And after moving down here to Atlanta for a job and stuff, I got engaged, moved, started a job.
How long you been married?
Married. Yesterday was our 4th anniversary.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you. But yeah, so all of that happened within about a 6-month period. And with moving and getting a house, I started smoking cigars a little more often. Cause like I said, I mean, for several years there, I was having, a cigar about once a month, something like that. And then after moving and getting a house, I'd go out to grill and I'd grab a cigar and a beer or something, and so it turned into more of like once every week or two. And then, just kind of grew into more often. And that's how I started, looking into and finding cigar podcasts and stuff, and how I found you guys. And, and so I started smoking a lot more often, and then, it just kind of grew from there, turned into more of, a few times a week. And, and so then I basically kind of, cause my family is not so keen on the idea of me smoking cigars, so.
When you say family, are you talking about your wife?
My parents.
Okay. Well, nobody gives a shit what parents think.
Well, and so I didn't necessarily want to be like, just like posting cigars and stuff on like Facebook and Instagram and everything. So I decided that I would make an Instagram account specifically for cigars. And
that's, what, I did that.
And that is, talk. And literally for those who are listening who don't know me, my Instagram this is my cigar account. And that's because that's literally what it was. And I, thought about it and looked it up, and it wasn't there.
From ATL?
So I started that account and had it going for a few months. And then one day Instagram, pops up with a notification like, ATL Cigar Co. This is an account you may be interested in or may want to follow or whatever it says. And so I looked and I was like, oh, ATL, like, is that Atlanta? And so I looked at it and it was, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. That's local, and so I followed them and figured out, like, this is a new company. The cigars aren't out yet and stuff. And so then I saw where they were posting that
they were looking for reps.
That they were going to do a launch event for the cigars.
At a lounge?
At a lounge.
Did you go?
And and so I looked, and the lounge was like 15, 20 minutes from my house. And so
you blew somebody.
So went to the lounge
blew somebody
to the event, and my wife and I went to it, and I walk in and buy some cigars, and they send me over to the table to get swag stuff because of buying cigars. And Peter, who is the company's head of product, one of the founders, is like, oh, this is my cigar account. And I was like, holy shit. Like, how do, like they recognize me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It blew my mind that they he recognized me, and so from there it kind of, I went to a couple of different events with ATL, and then one day I just kind of, messaged him and was like, hey, I'm interested in kind of seeing more of the, the industry side of things, besides just being a consumer. And so,
they gave you
I
a
knew
shot.
they were going to be, doing events and stuff. And so I was like, do you, would y'all need help at any of these events? Like I, could help out and, do whatever. And so they were like, yeah, that would be great. We're, we've got these events coming up. We could, use help. We can, basically pay you in cigars and swag.
Boom.
And I was like, okay, I'm all right with that.
And when you have a guy that loves cigars at the level that we do, cigars is really all we need.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I did that for a little while, and then, they kind of approached me and were like, hey, we're looking at, the idea of maybe, bringing on a rep or two and doing it on a part-time basis.
They didn't make you blow somebody.
No.
See, at the Leaf, Jay made me blow him.
To get the sponsorship?
Boom.
Yeah.
It's like Jay has a sponsorship,
Okay.
and in return, but to be fair, I said, is it okay if I make Bryant do it? And he took over that responsibility for me. So thank you, Bryant.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And that, you are kind of the head of the podcast.
Well,
so you were able to divvy up the responsibility.
To be fair,
so,
Brian says
you're a good
I'm
leader.
the dickhead of the, Cigar Talk. So, hey, that's awesome. Me and Trent have been friends for a long time online, and this is the first time we hung out together and smoked and
met
drank.
in person.
And so that is the cigar community. I mean, dude, we've been hanging out online for years.
Yeah.
And COVID really brought that on.
Oh, yeah.
We started doing herfs, and it just kind of manifested itself. And you know what? For me personally, I kind of miss the days of COVID because we had a lot of freaking herfs during COVID.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't go to a shop. But now that we can, we don't do them as often. But,
true.
The one thing that I accomplished today was I was telling Al McAuliffe about Discord, which he didn't know what that was. But I told him we did herfs, and he said, I would love to come on one.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, how cool would that be?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And, the great thing about the internet is it expands our relationships within the cigar community so much further than if we didn't have it.
Oh, for sure.
And COVID really made that happen.
Yeah. Well, and that, COVID brought about Zoom and all of the video conferencing platforms, which have been great.
And I'm going to tell this to everybody out there.
Cigar stuff.
Cigar Talk was one of the very first cigar people to do herfs.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing herfs. And now, before COVID was over, everybody was doing herfs.
Yeah. True.
So, hey, you know what? We got to do the McAuliffe Minute.
Yeah.
And you guys know what that means. We're going to do a trivia question. And the trivia question this week, very interesting. Since I'm in Atlanta, I thought the trivia should have to do something of Atlanta. So the question this week is about the Big Chicken. The Big Chicken is a landmark in the Atlanta area.
Yep.
And I actually saw it today. Gunny drove me right by it. And when he told me we were going to go buy a Big Chicken, in my mind, I have this expectation of what I'm going to see. And then when we're driving down the road, I was like, that's not at all what I thought I was going to see. This looks like a robot chicken.
Yeah.
It does not look like a chicken. It looks like a Trojan horse.
It's a big
type
metal
thing.
sign.
It's not even a sign. It's a It's a giant Trojan horse. Like you could fit a lot of Atlanteans in there to attack Tennessee. Does Tennessee border this state?
Yes.
Okay. My geography is not what it
chicken.
should be, but if you were going to invade Nashville, you could put all these people in that chicken. I mean, it's fucking huge. How tall is that thing? I bet I could find out.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, what, 50 feet tall? It's 3 or 4 stories.
Probably.
And so I'm saying it's at least 40 feet tall. But it looks like a metal rectangular chicken. It's got beaks. It's got eyes that rotate. It's got a beak that opens and closes.
56 foot tall.
56. See, I was close the first time.
Yeah.
If I was on the Price is Right, I would have won because I didn't go over.
True.
That's the way that all guesses are formed is you can guess, but you can't go over, right?
But does that mean on the McAuliffe Minute, if nobody else gets it and the answer is D,
No.
that if you guess
No, you have to get it
anything,
right.
or even if the answer is B and you guess A, you're not going over, right?
No.
Okay.
You're-
Okay.
Trent's making shit up. He don't run this show. So here's the question, guys. So this was put up for a restaurant. And just so you know, the chicken is white and red. In fact, I mean, don't use Google to find out the answer to the trivia, all right? If you're using Google, you're cheating. So anyway, it's a 56-foot tall chicken, and it's badass. Like, you can't miss it. It's like, you know what? I used to live in Huntsville County in Texas, and along highway or Interstate 45, we had a 60-foot statue of Sam Houston.
Okay.
Like, if you said the Sam Houston, like, you knew where it was. It's a white statue. It's huge. So that's kind of like what this is, except our thing had like some really unique history to it. This is a fucking bird, okay? This has nothing to do with the history of Atlanta, okay? This is like Sam Houston was a figure of the Texas history. He is not gay. He is not gay. I mean, not that I know of. And if he was,
not that there's anything wrong with
that. Nothing wrong with being gay. I have gay friends. Bryant. So, anyway. So here's the question, guys. And you know what? I'm trying to get out of using Facebook and Instagram. Are you interested in running a social media channel for Cigar Talk?
No.
Okay. Me neither. So I want to get rid of Instagram. I want to get rid of Facebook and just have Discord. Like, that is the level of involvement I want, because with all those other platforms, I don't know those people.
Yeah. You get everybody and their brother.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I have 16,000 followers and I know 10 of them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And on Facebook, I have almost 5,000 followers, and I know my wife. And my wife doesn't even follow me on Facebook. Did you know that?
I've heard you mention that.
Quit following me because she said I was vulgar. Vulgar. Yeah, here's the funny thing.
After the cigar porn, or the
Cigar
the
Hub.
porn, Pornhub
so
cigar.
You seen the T-shirts with the logo that says Porn Hub? I did one in the exact same font, and it said Cigar Nub. I walk into the Christmas celebration with my family, and my sister-in-law is telling my wife, "You know that looks like the Pornhub T-shirt." Well, that's what
you should have asked.
I would have been like, "How'd you know?"
You're like, oh, you've been looking at it?
But my wife, a big supporter of mine, I got to, give thanks for my wife because she supports everything
Props
I
to Mrs.
do.
B.
Yeah, Miss B, props to her. But she had forwarded on to all her friends that shirt. So she was a little humiliated because, you know, she's a church-going believer, thumper, whatever. And so I was like, all right, cool, sorry. And she quit following me on Facebook for that. Now, from now on till the day I die, I will always make fun of my sister-in-law. You know what I mean? She's a busybody. She don't need to be yakking to my wife about
Who
shit I'm
apparently
doing.
knows a lot about Pornhub.
Right. So that's what, if I was her husband, I'd be like, how'd you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the trivia question. Let's see. The chicken, were we doing the year or were we doing the
I think
store?
we were going to
Okay,
do the store.
name of the business. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was built in 1963.
The original store, yeah.
And it was a chicken for a restaurant. Like, that's where we are. Boom. Okay. So here's your choices. You tell me what restaurant put up this chicken. And remember, we are in Georgia. And let me get down here where I can actually read the name of the business. I lost it somewhere. But the first one is going to be Church's Chicken. A. Did Church's Chicken put this up? The next one is Chick-fil-A. The next one, what was the name of the fucking one that really did it? Bob's, Chuck Steak. Hey, Fish, what'd I tell you earlier? Huh? No, the real one.
Chuck, and Shake.
There you go. All right, I'll edit that out.
Okay.
Or C, Chicks, Chuck, and Steak, or D, Kentucky Fried Chicken. You look down the show notes, you'll see email rob@cigartalkpodcast.com. If you can tell me the name of the store or restaurant that erected this chicken, then we'll put you in the drawing if you are correct for McAuliffe swag, which will get mailed out. And we will give you the answer next week on the show. Now, just so you know,
The chicken's had a couple of erections.
Yes. And I erected a chicken earlier, and then I choked it. Fish even watched me choke it. No. That was in Louisiana. I actually stayed in a cat house once, Fish. I was a photographer doing church directory photos. I went to Thibodaux, Louisiana, and I stayed at I stayed at the Rebel Motel. I got there at 1 a.m. I drove from Texas, and I just drove to the town. I was only 20 years old.
In it.
And I get there. The only hotel in the whole town was called the Rebel Motel. I go knock on the door. A lady comes in her robe, and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. I need to get a room." And she says, "How many hours?" And I'm like, "Well, it's 1 o'clock now. I need to get up at 6. 5 hours." And she's like, "All right." She gives me the key. I pay. It's like $25. And then I say, "Can I get a wake-up call for 6?" And she's like, yeah, no problem. I go into the hotel
yeah, what
room.
kind do you want?
There's no blankets on the bed, just sheets. And I'm like, I'm just fortunate it's not cold. It's in the summer. And so anyway, at 6 a.m., there's a woman beating on my door. They didn't have a phone. And so I get up, I go to work, I'm at a church, and they're like, "Oh, did you stay in Lafayette?" And I'm like, "No, I stayed here." And they're like, "Where?" I said, "I was at the Rebel Motel." And they were like, "That's a cat house." And I was like, "I didn't see no cats." I didn't know they provided other services. I mean, at 21, I might have been interested, you know. But, you know, no, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Anyway, that's this week's McAuliffe Minute. Make sure you email me with the answers. I'm going to have the question and the answers in the show notes and then my email address. And so you'll get McAuliffe swag if you answer correctly and you win the drawing. And we're going to put you in the final drawing. And this is something I just decided, like right now.
All right.
If you email me the right answer, but you're not selected, you still go into the drawing for the overall NFT that we're going to give away.
Nice.
You know what an NFT is? I'm talking to Joel, the guy that answered or was on the show earlier. You know what an NFT is? Not fucking today. No. Non-fungible token. We'll get into that a little later. I'll come back and explain it next week. What's that? It's like a fiduciary. Like yes. It's a fussle. Fussle, bustle, matussle. Anyway, we're going to play this week's Song of the Week, and I'm going to apologize right now. I do not have a joke of the week. I'm traveling. I write my own jokes. What do you got? You want to jump on right quick? Let him tell a joke. Is it R-rated? Okay, perfect.
Good.
It's got to be at least R-rated, or we're not going to have you on. I mean, you know what? A dad joke. I don't really do dad jokes, but because I don't have a joke this week, I'm going to let you slide in and give us your dad joke. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got Gunny. All right, what's your joke of the week?
What did the old man say when he walked in front of the fish market? I told you it was a dad joke.
I don't even get that joke. Is there? Am I missing something here?
What did the old I messed it up. What did the
Oh, he messed it up.
What did the old blind man say when he walked in front of the
Oh, well, dude, that's a totally different joke.
Good evening, ladies. What do you expect from a fiduciary?
Dude, you ruined that joke. You know what? You're going to be lucky if that doesn't get edited right out of the show.
I please do.
So, since you are listening, I want you. This is a fiduciary and a rabbi walk into a bar, and the fiduciary gets his ass kicked by his wife. So anyway, we want to say thank you guys for listening every week. And if you're not part of the Discord, that's also an option. Look down in the show notes. Join us in the Discord. We got lots of people hanging out, smoking cigars, talking about what they love. And if you're Orlando, complaining about your life. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great week. And until next time, keep smoking. Boom.
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet.